That is the map of the Kingdom of Desi, which is where we're going to be going to this evening. Slightly better lighting now because I've had a whole load of lighting array has been repaired in my apartment. Okay. Now, before we begin, thank you to the 2 people watching. Please do share and post the stream, whack it up on Discord or wherever you think people might appreciate seeing it and possibly join us. Oh, 4 people now. So a little bit of sad news before we begin the stream tonight. I had an interview scheduled in mid-September called Character Actors for the channel. It's another industry interview. Some of you guys may have seen the fantastic interview, part 1 actually, of an interview I did with Debbie Evans, stuntwoman Debbie Evans, yesterday. Incredible human being, just the loveliest woman, fantastic stories, valuable knowledge to impart anybody who might be thinking of going into a stunt career. But as I said, I had an interview planned for September called Character Actors. Had 2 or 3 actors were going to join that stream, and one of the actors was my friend Darren Kent. Now, Darren is a well-known character actor in the industry. He's appeared in shows like Game of Thrones. He was in the latest Dungeons and Dragons movie, and Darren has suffered from a couple of health issues since quite a young age, which has affected his skin and his look. But he turned that into a positive. He used it because he had this kind of unique look, but he was very young and still had, plenty of energy. He was cast in various TV shows. Hi, Nana, all the way from Ghana. Nice to have you on the stream. You probably won't understand the stuff we're going to do shortly, but very grateful to have you here. Do stay tuned in. Great to see some of the regulars. We got Keith, good to see you. David Macy, nice to see you. We have Corey as well. So, as you know, I do industry interviews on the channel. One of the things I do is I interview people who work in films and television. And Darren was coming on the stream. He was going to come on the channel in about 3-4 weeks' time. Just got the news today. In fact, it was announced a couple of days ago, but I missed it because I was staying off social media because I was preparing for work and stuff. Got the sad news that unfortunately Darren Kent passed away. Darren passed away a couple of days ago, 3 days ago. He had been in hospital recently, and I think his plethora of health issues just got the better of him. He was a really strong character, very, very beloved in the film industry. Anyone that will tell you, who's worked with Darren, that he was a real joy to have on set. Mel, if you're not going to sleep yet, and you fancy jumping on the stream, I thought I might be starting a bit late to ask you, but if you want to jump on the stream, let me know and I'll drop you the link. So I got the sad news. Unfortunately, Darren passed away. I might do a longer stream about Darren and his work on another night. I might do a specific Darren dedication. Now I don't want to overstate my friendship with Darren. I met Darren only once at a film screening quite a long time ago. We talked recently and connected on Facebook. But he's just, I know loads of people that work with Darren, and even though the seeds of our friendship were kind of at the very beginning, I do feel his loss, and my heart goes out to the family and his closer friends, because knowing the person that he was in the short time that I had contact with him, you could feel that friendliness, that positivity, that willingness to help, that willingness to be involved. And he was just a really, really, really good egg. And like I said, I'm not the only person saying this. If you speak to anybody in the industry and ask them about what was Darren Kent like to work with, they will all tell you he was an absolutely first-class individual. Never moaned about anything, despite his own health issues. Always on time. Never complained about anything. He was, just someone who was a joy to be around. So, as I said, it's very sad to hear that he's gone. I hope he's at peace. And as he was in the Dungeons and Dragons movie, I hope he's looking down on me now and having a bit of a laugh and saying, Lance, are you about to do your lone wolf thing again? Your niche gaming stream? Yes, I am, Darren, is my answer. So I am doing it again. Now there's a couple of people that might pop in and join me on this this particular stream. So I'm just dropping them the link in case they want to come in. I might drop it to Gary from the Outcasts in Australia as well, because we've got members in Australia who get involved in these things. So I'll drop it to Gary there, and also Gary Bunn might be up as well. So I'll drop it to Gary Bunn as well. So actually, guys, I'm terrible, I meant to put this up before we get into Lone Wolf, and we are doing Lone Wolf, don't worry, we are doing Lone Wolf. So but just to say, our much loved friend Darren Kent has passed away, and you will have seen him in lots of things. He often had very small roles, but he kept getting cast in stuff because people loved him. People liked working with him, and that is a very good quality to have. It's good to be in demand in the industry for that reason. First and assistant directors, second unit directors, they liked having him on set. Wonderful sense of humor, just a really all-round nice guy, and he will be very, very missed by everybody who knew him. And as I say, I'm not someone who knew him well. Melissa the Magical is here.
Hey, hello. How you doing?
You've even got sort of slightly kind of magician's attire on in your. Did you, Mel? Did you, before we dive into our adventure, did you know Darren? I think you did, didn't you? Didn't you meet?
I
Darren?
didn't. No, I didn't know. But I've seen lots of friends on Facebook posting about him, so I obviously knew people who knew him.
Yeah, it's I only met him once at a film screening. I think it was about 4 years ago, and we kind of said hi and did the usual kind of networking thing. And then some friends of mine had gone to Cannes Film Festival. I think it was the first one after the pandemic, so it might have been 2021, or was it last year? It might have even been last year, because the first time I reconnected with him was actually in May of this year. And we spoke on the phone and chatted a few times. And he was going to, I think I mentioned it to you that I was going to do a stream on the channel about character actors.
Yeah.
And I was going to get like 3 or 4 character actors, sort of Melissa Stanton types, to come on and talk about, work as a character actor, which it's a very broad term, but we could have dug into that. And he was well up for coming on that because, of course, he is a traditional, very much a character actor because of he used his look and his illness to get cast in certain roles, and I think that was great that he did that and made a living. I can hear a rumbling dog again. Have we got one?
Oh yeah. Where is she? She's.
So guys and girls that are watching as we're doing the stream, we're getting a quick flash of the nether regions, perhaps not necessary. As we're doing the gaming stream, we might hear some rumblings. Now that could be a dragon or it could be the dog. All right. So well, listen, thanks for coming on, Mel. It's always nice to have company.
Yeah.
And our condolences to Darren and his family, and I just wanted to say that before I started tonight. So I may do a separate stream about Darren's career at some point. Maybe we'll get a couple of his friends on it if we feel it's appropriate. So, but in the meantime, I mean, bit of an awkward segue. The Castle of Death. Is the I'm sure Darren would see the funny side.
I'm just going to quickly change rooms so that I can plug in.
I'll drop you out for a sec, and then when you come back, when you're settled, I'll bring you back in. Okay, so those people that are watching, this is the Lone Wolf gaming stream that I do on my channel. It's a bit of a niche stream. It's not the thing that gets all the views and all the people watching. Not like the industry interviews that I do, where we get a huge number of likes and views and all that kind of thing. This is a gaming stream, but it's not a traditional gaming stream. Back in the 80s, there were a series of books called the Lone Wolf books, which are on the shelf behind me. In fact, most of them are covered up by this map at the minute, which is also the map that we are going to be exploring today. The map of the Kingdom of Desi is where we are going to be yomping about, and we have a mission to accomplish. Mel will be helping me with the decisions. Those people that are following the stream on chat, you can also get involved. So we've got a mission. I'm going to read out what it is in a second, but we are going to be traveling to the city of Herdos, which is here, Herdos, to try and find one of the 6 missing lore stones. So we'll get into that in a second. I see you've now moved into your love chamber, Mel. That's surrounded by hearts on the fantastic stuff. So yeah, just bringing everyone up to speed on what we're going to be doing. So this is the area we're going to be exploring. It's called the Kingdom of Desi. I'll show you where it is on the big map in just a sec. Keith is saying he looked at the prices of some of these books today. Unbelievable. Yeah, any book between 20 and 30, you're going to pay some serious big bucks. I have also been out and bought some more choose your own adventure books. Bit naughty because I can't really afford it. But you know what happened was I went to the children's fantasy section in foils. I saw some adventure gaming books. I slipped, and in order to steady myself, I had to rest my hand on them, and they moved all the way to the till, and they landed on the till, and then the salesperson said, "Will there be anything else, sir?" And I believe that if you use books to lean on in the shop, you then have to purchase them. So yeah, that all sounds very believable, doesn't it now?
Absolutely. I totally believe it 100%.
So these are fighting fantasy books, not as good as Lone Wolf, but still fun. I got Sorcery, the Crown of Kings, but then I realized that this is book 4 in a mini series within the fighting fantasy thing. So what I had to then do was get the other sword and sorcery things or sorcery books to go with that. But the one that I'm missing is actually book 1, which is kind of annoying. Then this book, which had a really cool cover that I saw in another store, accidentally also fell into my bag. And by that, I mean, I did purchase it with my credit card. I didn't steal it. I just need to. But it had a very cool cover, and I quite like the idea of battling giants. And then, funnily enough, whilst I was yomping about today, I also accidentally, on purpose, ended up buying another one. And I found in another shop. I actually went around looking in charity shops today to try and get, because if you look, you can find old fighting fantasy books in charity shops. So I've been going around hunting them down, trying to hunt them down. And as of yet, I haven't found any in charity shops, but I did find some other cool books. I picked up The Martian for £1.50. And I also got a great book on the Battle of Islamwana, which I'm going to be doing in miniature soon. So that was also only £3. So very good. So anyway, but we are doing Castle Death. I have the book with me. Now there's a huge long bit of waffle at the beginning. We'll cut out most of that. So we rescued we got the Lore Stone. It's funny because when I was in the final section of getting the Lore Stone, there was two really similar options to that time where you killed me. And
right, yeah.
I went, it's definitely not that one. That's the male death option. Let's do this. And that the other person who was doing the game with me wanted to do the other choice. So I said, okay, we'll read it, but that's not my choice. I'm doing this thing. And sure enough, they died. So, so I actually managed to complete whatever book 6 was called. I managed to complete book 6 without getting killed. Okay, so having retrieved the legendary Lore Stone of Veretta, which as I held it triumphantly, I absorbed all its power and knowledge, and then it kind of disappeared. One of the things that it informed me of is that there are 6 other Lore Stones lost in the Kingdom of Magnamund, and one of those 6 is, in my mind, hopefully that's accurate information. It could just be that I've been at the pipeweed too much again. I don't know. But in my mind, it says that the location of the second of the crystals is in the town of Herdos, which I just showed on the map. Now, I have noticed that Herdos is located on the edge of this lake. And I mean, I'm sure it's just a coincidence, but in the middle of the lake, there is a rather foreboding-looking castle called Kazagund, or we'll call it Khazad-dûm because that's from Babylon 5, and I know how to pronounce that. So there's a castle called Khazad-dûm, and it's suspiciously in the middle of the lake and looks quite mean. I'm going to wager money that castle in the middle of that lake is probably the Castle of Death. So I have a feeling that's where we're going to be going. We shall see. But and I'm not sure where we're starting, but I imagine we're going to travel to the town of Nikisa and then go from there. Okay, so I've chosen another skill. So the skill that I have added to my range of 14 skills, although the older ones seem to be useless now, I've added the skill of curing. So that's a healing ability. It's not the ability to cure meats, which also could be useful, I imagine.
Very useful.
Very useful, of course. Absolutely. Very, very useful. Thanks, guys. Yeah, do smash the like button. Appreciate that. I'll do it myself quickly there. I did have somebody tuning in watching from Ghana earlier. So that was, that's what happens when you tell people the name of your channel when you're on a dating website. Right. So, but I'm grateful if you're going to tune in and you enjoy the stream. That's all great. Please do. I'm sure Lone Wolf Adventure game books are very big in Ghana. Right. So, very big in Japan anyway. I'm just trying to, sorry, I've got so many windows open. I've got way too many, more windows than is necessary. So let me just close some of these. Right, so I've got the bigger map. Okay, so let's have a look at the bigger map before we start so we can see where this is in relation to the rest of the world, as it were. So dark clouds on the horizon in the east there. So this is the map of all of Magnamund. So the adventure that we just completed was in the Stormlands. The Stormlands is this region here, and I think it's that region, or is it further up? Oh no, my apologies. It's further up. It's this region. It's everything between these two rivers. So these kind of 5 kingdoms, Eldanora, Sulani, Delden, Magador, Lyris, and to a lesser extent Casorn and Slovia, they're all at war with each other. So it's a little bit like the kingdoms in Game of Thrones. And there used to be one lord who ruled over all that section, but they're now kind of all like little warring factions. So that's where I went to retrieve the Lore Stone. and I got it from the city of Takaro, where I had to destroy a big mutant frog thing that you would have loved. And by that, I mean you would have kept it for a pet and scratched its tummy. So Vasagonia I've travelled through before. And now we're going to be going down to Desi. So let's see what it says about Desi. It's a remote mountainous jungle realm. It's first settled in the age of the Old Kingdoms. Race of beings from whom good magical power stems in Magnamund, so we might be facing a few magician types. Together they faced and overcame a period of great upheaval when the fathomed chasm of Gorgoron, that's the chasm of doom, blah, blah, blah. The elder Magi taught the Vakaros their battle magic so they could better defend Desi against the creatures of Gorgoron. Great. So my guys basically taught them magic, and now they're all going to be evil Jedi, I reckon. Okay, so this is the mission. The remote town of Herdos stands upon the shore of Lake Kor, which is here. This blue thing in the middle here. In the heart of the Zulan mountains of Desi. It was here that the elder Magi, the magicians who rule this land, helped Sun Eagle on his quest long ago. Events have now turned full circle, and once more their aid is sought by a warrior of the Kai. Fate has brought you to us, Lone Wolf, intoned Ramoa, speaker of the High Council of the Elder of Magi, who stands before you in the Tower of Truth at Elizan. Okay, so we're currently in Elizan. I've no idea where that is, but we're in the Tower of Truth in Elizan, wherever that is. Probably not here. It's probably somewhere nearer me, I imagine. No idea where that is. Okay, let's continue. His clear voice fills the great cylindrical council chamber, and the other white-robed elders gather around you, and you respond with one voice. Of course, I respond with one voice. I've only got one voice. It is so. Okay, so it is so. Ramoa leads you to a circular diocese set like a deep well into the green marble floor. Carefully, he kneels, touches its liquid metal surface with his gloved hand. A current flows through the shimmering metal, and within its mirror-like depths, a strange vision takes shape. This is going to be like Lord of the Rings. What do you see? Well, it tells me what you see: a black-walled fortress set upon a rocky isle, its deep purple shadows reflecting the dark waters of a moonlit lake. You see before you Kazan Ood, or Khazad-dûm. The lore stone of Herdos can be found in this castle. So they lied, you see. It's not at Herdos. It's in the evil-looking castle. We will take you to this fortress, Lone Wolf, but you must enter alone. Unfortunately, our powers hold no sway over the forces that command this terrible place. In the years that have passed since Sun Eagle, that's like the big Jedi guy who taught like Yoda. Think of Sun Eagle as a Yoda. Since he first came to this land, a great evil has consumed Zahadum. We lack the means to destroy this evil, but we have labored to contain it, to prevent it from spreading beyond the Isle of Kor. Some of the bravest warriors of Magnamund have tried at our behest to defeat the power of Zahadum. All have perished. But fate now brings us a Kai Master, and our hearts rejoice because you're going to do it for us, aren't you? Yeah. Sure. Thanks for that. A ripple of hopeful whispers arises from the circle of elders. Very good. See, Mel's here for a reason. She's not just a pretty face, people watching. So,
not even.
As they accompany you from the council chamber to equip you for the dangerous mission that lies ahead, you ask the meaning of the words Zahadum. An uneasy silence descends on the dignified company, and all eyes turn on Ramoa. In the language of the Summerland, he says, Castle Death. Yeah, well, that fits. Okay. All right, so that's our intro. I've already done my re-equipping of meals and skills and all that stuff to save some money, save some time, sorry. One of the things that I'm adding to my herb pouch is something called fire seeds. See, whenever I see stuff in the inventory that hasn't appeared before and it says, do you want it? I think yes is the answer, because it's always going to be useful somehow.
Yeah.
So 3 fire seeds. Fire seeds, if you throw them against an opponent at the start of the battle, instead of drinking a potion, pick a number from the random number table, roll a d10, then deduct the digit of the end. Oh, right. Then deduct this from the enemy's combat skill. The result is the number of endurance lost by your foe before the combat starts. If the result is 0 or less, no damage is inflicted. Oh, okay. All right. So you have to roll 9 or less. Fire seed does not work on enemies made of fire or water. 3 fire seeds count as 1 special item. They can also be carried in the herb pouch. I've got them in the herb pouch. And autocorrect has just changed it to fire sides. It's fire seeds. Leave it alone. Okay. Right. I also get to get some gold crowns. So we'll just close off those windows. So you always roll for 10 extra gold crowns at the beginning of a mission. I get 4. Now, I currently have 13 left over from the last mission. So that's up to 17. And I've got 22 in my safe. So that gives me a total of 39. I'm going to take 10 more with me. So I'm going to take 27.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to leave 12 behind in the monastery safe or wherever we are. Okay. I've updated myself with potions and lotions and all of those things. So we're at the beginning. Here we go. Okay. Just take a sip of water here. Well, the good thing is with having you on, Mel, if I need to go to the loo, you can simply entertain people watching by doing an interpretive dance of the present passage of the adventure. Okay, so I'm just going to put the big map back up for a sec, or the small map technically. Here we are. And I still don't see that place that was mentioned even on this map. Because there's the borders of the map. So, yeah, don't think so. All right. The hours leading up to your departure from Elzian, the place that we've no idea where it is, are spent checking and double checking your equipment and provisions and reading a map, I wouldn't imagine, saying, where am I? Yet no matter how hard you concentrate on these preparations, your mind is constantly invaded by the shadowy image of Khazad-dûm. It is an image identical to the vision that appeared the previous evening in the well of the council chamber. It fills you with a sense of deep dread. Okay. It's if you're seeing a vision of your own grave. God, this is getting very morbid. However, coupled to this terrible sense of foreboding is a far greater, irresistible desire to fulfill your mission and retrieve the Law Stone of Herdos, or the Law Stone of Khazad-dûm, because it's no longer in Herdos. I think would be more accurate to say. And thanks to all the people watching. I see there's 5 people watching right now. Really appreciate your time. Don't be afraid to share the stream. Is that the pooch?
It is, yes.
Okay, hang on. I'm just going to mute Mel for a second while the dog is rumbling as I talk. Let me finish this passage, Mel, and then I'll unmute you, which means you can rub the dog's tummy freely. Okay, so shortly before dawn, your thoughts are disturbed by a knock at the door of your chamber. It is Rimowa. The time has come for your mission to begin. Yeah, figured that. You followed him through the halls and galleries to the rooftop platform, nesting among the crimson towers of the Temple of Truth. Here you're greeted by a young man. Oh, must be me in a different life. He's tall and dark-skinned. Okay, I'm just going to unmute Mel now. There you go, you're unmuted. So we were greeted by a tall and dark-skinned young man with plaited flaxen hair and sharp cat-like eyes. He wears the gold and scarlet tunic of a Vakaros, a warrior magician of Desi. Okay, so I guess we are kind of allied to this this place. And if I zoom the map out, you can see there's all the magocracy. It's not a democracy, it's a magocracy. of Desi. Never heard of that word before.
Ooh.
Okay, your dog is conversing again.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not an orc talking in the background. It's actually Mel's dog. All right. So, hail, Prado, says Ramoa Bang to this proud young man. Hail, my lord Ramoa, he replies respectfully. We are ready to sail. Oh, I think we're going to go on a skyboat. One of those things that flies through the air. Skyship.
Yeah.
Because they'll cover huge distances. Okay, so yeah, magnificent skyship hovers above the rooftop platform. The hum of its powerful engine rises. You thank Ramoa, bid him farewell. See you, mate. Lord Pado passes the boarding ladder at the edge of the platform. Once safely aboard, the skyship rises into the chilled dawn air. And Lord Ramoa and the Tower of Truth shrink swiftly beneath its golden keel. You look down with growing fascination at the sleek, bat-winged craft as the sleek, bat-winged craft passes over the encircling waters of the Elzion Canal and speeds northwards above the jungles of central Desi. Okay, so it sounds like, oh, okay, here's where we are, Mel. Look, we're in this city here.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the Chasm of Gorgoron, which is a bit like the Chasm of Doom. So we're starting here, I guess. So I'm guessing we must have traveled to this city probably by sea. And then, because actually you can do that because there's a river inlet that goes all the way up there. Look. And so we're starting in the capital of this place. Okay. And taking a skyship. Well, that's going to save a considerable amount of time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. As the grey chasm of Gorgon looms into view, splitting the emerald green land like a deep and terrible wound, Lord Pado joins you at the rail. Time passes in conversation and you learn much about the people and the history of this untamed land. Yet you yearn for your Xbox 5. You learn that the Elder Magi are all that remain, Elder Magi are all that remain of a race of great magicians who ruled central Magnamund many thousands of years ago. They were wise, powerful, and their leadership was great until their numbers were decimated by a plague that swept across Magnamund. Those who survived sought refuge in Desi and lived here in the mountains and jungles. Okay, this is quite long. I'll try and skip parts of it. When you tell Lord Pado of your own past battles with desert warriors, you sense sadness within him. How I wish my brother Kassan was here with us now, he says, staring thoughtfully towards a distant horizon. That sounded quite thoughtful, didn't it? I think
it did. Yeah.
He could tell many a brave tale of the great desert wars. You ask him what's become of his brother. There's a long pause before he solemnly replies, Khazad-dûm, or Khazun-Ud, or whatever. Khazad-dûm sounds better. The land of Desi is now spread out beneath you like a gigantic map to the northwest of the foothills, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, okay. Soon you see the low-domed buildings of Herdos appearing on the horizon, followed by the waters of Lake Kor. I think we're gonna get taken all the way there. I thought we were going to have to travel a bit, but I guess this is going to be a very castle-focused adventure. Shortly before your destination... Oh, no, hang on. Even at this great distance, the awesome sight of the terrible fortress sends a chill coursing down your spine. Lord Pado orders the crew to prepare for landing, and within an hour, the great skyship is casting its shadow upon the flagstone of the Plaza of Herdos. So we've arrived in the town of Herdos. So there you go. The castle is a stone's throw away from us already. They escort you through the streets of the ancient town, past tiny stone-walled dwellings of fishermen and miners, to a quay where a glass-domed tower, several stories high, commands the busy harbour. As you enter the tower, you notice the glass dome radiates a greenish light. Later, as the sun sinks behind the peaks of the mountains, the tower becomes even more visible, covering Lake Kor in an umbrella of ghostly luminescence. Lord Arden explains, "This tower, together with 5 others that encircle the lake, generates a shield of magic energy that imprisons the evil of Zahadum. No creature, living or deceased, can enter or leave the Isle of Kor so long as our shield remains intact. We dare not lower our guard. However, in order to allow you to land on the island, we have devised a means by which you may pass through the shield unharmed. Well, that's a relief. He takes a gem the size of a small apple from the pocket of his silken robe and places it in your hand. It is a dull, translucent red, but within its core, a swirling mist of glittering sparks flickers with gold and silver fire. That's very specific. It is a power key. Its magic will shield you during your exploration. Guard it well. For as long as you possess it, you may fulfill your quest. Lose it, and you may never escape from the Isle of Kor. Oh, fucking great. Okay, so, right, I need to write down power key under your special items. It adds, and while I'm in possession of it, it also adds 2 endurance points to my total. Well, that's nifty. Now, I'm going to have to drop something. I'm just going to put up my character sheet. By the way, if anybody watching is a whiz with the old graphics and Photoshop and you want to create me a groovy character sheet that I can have all this stuff written on, please feel free to contact me. I do realize this looks very basic. So I'm allowed to carry a maximum of 12 special items. So I think we can probably get rid of Sinead's silver key. We don't need the map of Takaro either because I've been there. We're not going to need the map of Takaro. Let's get rid of that. So I'll leave that behind and send it back with my envoys to the monastery in case I need it again. So this is called the power key. Okay, power key. Yeah, I can hear you, Pooch. Power key, crimson gem. All right, okay. This adds 2 endurance points. So my endurance is, oh, for fuck's sake, this autocorrect thing is so annoying. So my endurance is, and it's back to normal. It's 26 normally. So with the +2 for this, +2 for Power Stone, it will be 28. Okay, so 28 normally, currently 28. Okay, all right. So there you can see there's a list of my skills. I'm carrying the magical +10 sword, so my combat skill is still 30, unless I decide to use a Psi Surge, which takes it up to 34. But you can't always use that. 27 gold crowns, various special items, various items in the backpack. All right, very good. Okay, so don't think we really need the map up then because we've got to the castle. At midnight, my Vacarus will take you by the boat to the edge of the shield. On board is a small coracle in which you can pass through the shield and make your way to the Isle of Kor. We shall pray for your success, Lone Wolf. He speaks exactly like that. That's definitely correct. So
sounds about right to me.
Should have kicked that monster's ass. I haven't fought any monsters yet, Keith. Nothing's happening yet. And definitely do smash the like button, people. Thank you very much for doing that. Okay, right, here we come to our choices. 200 yards from the glistening black shoreline, you note 2 places where you. Oh, hang on. Okay, so I skipped a bit. Let me. Midnight finds you standing on the deck of a square-rigged fishing boat. The sight night wind and the creak of rope and timber are the only sounds that accompany you across the black waters of Lake Kor. You arrive at the wall of shimmering green. It is the power shield. The Vacarus whispers their goodbyes and watch you paddle through the wall, drawing closer with every stroke to the sinister island fortress. By the way, that island fortress is on the cover of the original book, and there it is. So that's where we're, and there it is in the middle of the lake. This is Mel on her day off, hasn't had her hair done. don't know. No, I think I said that's Alex de Breezy last time. So that's where we're going. Yeah, the dog is very excited.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so here's our first choice, Mel and Chat. And don't forget, Chat, you can also join in if you wish. We've got two options. 200 yards from the glistening black shoreline, you note two places where you can make a landing. If you choose to land at the stone jetty located to the west of Zahadum, turn to 135. If you decide to land at the sheltered bay to the east of Zahadum, turn to 288. So stone jetty or sheltered bay. Now, there's a glossary at the back of this book which has like information on. So it has an information on Castle Zahadum, Khazad Oud, whatever. I'll just read it, see if there's anything useful. The mighty castle of the Isle of Kor dates back to a time when the place was manned by the elder Magai. Most refer to the fortress by its Summerlanding name, Castle Death. Few venture here. It's a lonely castle full of deadly traps and creatures, a place where visitation is considered a fool's errand, fated to end in their painful demise. Thanks for that. The elder Magi have contained the evil within. Yeah, we know all of that. None have ever returned who've been there. Okay, give me something useful. Since housing the Doomstone, the green eye of Agarash, Zahadum has become a nightmarish place. The power of the Doomstone has permeated the island entirely. Even the boulders on its rocky shores have become monstrous predatory organisms with huge eyes, maws, and tentacles, eager to feast on trespassers. But this is only one step of the transformation of the island. Okay, that's a bit of useful information.
Yeah, that suggests not going to the sheltered bay, maybe.
Does suggest not going to the temptingly sounding sheltered bay. So maybe we should land on the jetty. Jetty?
Yeah, yep, jetty.
All right, jetty. Okay, going for the jetty. You get the Esme. You're definitely dreaming of the jetty. Okay, here we go. Okay, just check that number 135. Yeah. A streak of green forked lightning lights up the collapsed roof of Zahadum for a brief moment. It looks like the shattered ribs of a giant lizard. Fun. There is another flash of lightning, and 100 tower windows glare at you like empty eyes edged with slivers of broken glass. A line of carved stone gargoyles adorns the black stone walls overhanging the jetty. Rings of rusted iron are clamped in their snarling jaws, each wound around with slime-encrusted ropes that dangle down into the water. At the jetty, it is deep enough to allow a large vessel to dock, but the current and the swell of the tide make it increasingly difficult for you to maintain control of your tiny boat. Your stomach tightens as the swell lifts you up and threatens to dash you against the jetty. Now, it's asking me if I have the Magna Kai skill of divination. I think I do. I do.
Divination, yeah, you have, yeah.
Yeah, I picked that. You were with me when we picked that.
Yeah.
So if I have that, I turn to 57. By the way, the other options are if you choose to stop paddling and try and grab one of the ropes, or if you decide to abandon the boat and swim towards a line of rocks further west. Possibly not the rocks. Okay, so we do have the pathmanship ability 57. It's probably going to tell us which is the best choice. You sense that neither the rope nor the rocks are quite what they seem to be. A terrible aura of wickedness hangs over them both. You try to probe deeper, but your concentration is broken when the boat lurches violently towards the jetty. A violent collision is now but seconds away. My God, here we go. So if you choose to dive overboard to avoid being dashed against the stone wall, that's one option. If you decide to grab one of the hanging ropes, which may or may not be a giant octopus,
Yeah.
to 203. Or if you prefer simply to close your eyes and pray for survival, turn to 239. Now, it's interesting that it hasn't given you the option of the rocks on this, which is 3. Oh, hang on. Yeah, no. If you dive overboard, you're going to go to the same option, which was the rocks last time. Overboard is going to mean the rocks, ropes, or close your eyes and pray for survival. I'm not sure about that one. What do we think? Rocks, potential giant octopus, or praying and using the force? None of those sound particularly good. We're off to a start here.
Ropes, maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking of all of them. The ropes sound the least, but we already sense they're not what they seem.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here we go. We're gonna do it. With your trembling hands clasping tightly around the slippery green rope, you fight to lock your feet together to prevent yourself from sliding down into the heavy swell. The clack of splintering wood fills the night as the coracle shatters and sinks without trace. Your boat's gone. A sudden jolt runs the length of the rope, and a snaky head rises up from the black water. It dips and swerves, opening jaws set with fangs that resemble long yellow knives. It fixes you with its blind white eyes. To your horror, you find yourself clinging to the body of a deadly liqueur that is now poised to strike. Okay, so in other words, we've grabbed onto a snake.
Yeah.
Now, the options are to defend ourselves against it. I'm just checking to see if these are in the... No, they're not. Oh, there's a load of new monsters listed in the back of the book, but this one's not there. You can either defend yourself against it or dive into the water, which, by the way, takes you to those rocks again. 325. Keith has said pray. I think we should attack the snake.
Yeah.
We're going to be fighting some rock monsters. But, I mean, that's another option. This thing's going to be... No, I think also we're going to have to be careful that we don't get poisoned. Okay, right, all right. We're going into combat, guys. First combat of the book. Now, fortunately, the combat skill of this thing is only 16, and I am at 30. That puts me on the highest chart possible, but it's got endurance of 30. The liqueur twists up and writhes in frustrated fury, for it cannot shake you from free from its trunk. The head rears up, and a droplet of venom splashes on the back of your hand. It burns like a hot dagger, and you cannot stifle a cry of pain. The serpent snickers. Its red tongue lashing the air just a few inches from your face. Now, it's got endurance of 30, so I'll need you to keep track of the damage for me. Due to your precarious position, you cannot make use of a shield or any two-handed weapon, but you can still use a sleeve shield. Oh, I didn't take that sleeve shield. Should have done now. You cannot drink a potion. Due to the corrosive venom of the liqueur, you must treble any endurance losses you sustain during combat. Christ. If you have the Magna Chi discipline of curing and have reached the rank of primate, which I have, if you have combat skill, the circle of light, you can add 2. I don't have that. Okay, right. So I'm going to use a psi surge on this thing because I want to kill this thing as soon as fucking possible. So that's going to add. That's going to add my combat value up even higher, just to decrease in case I get a shit die roll. So my combat, I'm 14 above it anyway, which is good. Oh no, I'm not. I'm 12 because I can't use my shield. But the psi surge gives me 4 extra combat points. I think, it's 4 extra combat points for the whole combat, but I lose. But while I'm using it, and I can stop using it at any time, I lose 1 endurance point per round while I'm using it. That's the disadvantage. So let's get the combat thing up. There we go. Okay, so we want to roll high. I'm on the highest chart, but I'm already going to lose 1 endurance point, so I'm going to take that off now. So my endurance is currently 27. Now, don't forget, because I've got curing and healing, every time I go through a section where there's no combat, I can repair 1.
Yeah.
So mustn't forget to do that. Okay. All right. So here's the first roll. If we get a high one, we kill it straight away. That'd be good. Plus, okay. So 7. So that means damage-wise, it has sustained. It's sustained 18 points of damage. It's got 12 left. I've sustained nothing. 4. I'm not going to use Psi thing this time, by the way, because I don't think there's any point. I lose 2. It loses 12. What's that?
That's it then.
That's 30. It's dead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I lost a total of 3 combat points in that, taking me down to 25. It's dead. We go to 296. Jesus Christ. This is going to be, I can tell this is going to be quite hard, this one. Your killing blow severs the Lacor's head, sending it spinning into the cold black waters below. A wave of shock ripples through its body, and suddenly you are falling with its lifeless torso still gripped between your feet. Seconds later, you hit the surface of the lake with a loud splash, and you sink like a stone. Bloody great. Haven't even got in the castle yet. Haven't even got on the jetty. 158. Okay.
It seemed like going into the waters was on the cards anyway.
Yeah.
Just everything seemed to be leading towards going into the water.
Gasping for air, you claw your way to the surface and swim towards the rocky shore. Having exhausted yourself from cold water, you crouch down, breathless and exhausted, beside a line of huge boulders that are half buried in the cold black sand. As you struggle to catch your breath, you take stock of your belongings. You've lost 2 items from your backpack, and all your food has been ruined by the tainted water. Fuck's sake. So I've lost all of my meals. So they're down to 0. Okay, I've lost 2 other items from my backpack. I'm going to lose my bottle of wine. Very annoying. And okay, I don't want to lose anything from my herb pouch. I've got to lose one of the following now. I've got to lose graveweed, which is a concentrate of poison, rope, or tinderbox.
Ooh.
So the means to light fire, the means to climb walls, or the means to poison somebody, one of them's got to go. Rope.
Yeah, rope.
We find rope more easily.
Yeah.
I think the rope. Okay. So I lose the rope. You're only just regaining control of your breathing when you hear the sound of scraping. It is not Mel's dog. It is as if some heavy weight is being dragged across the rocks to your left. A vertical crack appears in the surface of the nearest boulder, and a sickly yellow light washes over you. It is not a boulder. You're staring at a huge eye. Right, okay. So if you wish to draw your weapon and attack the eye, turn to 265. If you decide to leap to your feet and escape towards the sheer rock base of Khazad-dûm, turn to 41. So attack another monster, or leap towards a sheer rock face. Fun times. And chat if you want to contribute on these options. Oh, there's Darth Plato's here. Thank you so much for popping in. Darth Plato, I should be on the Greyhound stream. They're doing a watch party of Greyhound. You know the movie with Tom Hanks, the submarine movie. Don't know if you've seen that, Mel.
No.
Yeah. Sorry for the late greeting, but been here since the stream started, but couldn't type while driving. Oh, no worries, Desert Phoenix. Thank you so much. And he's saying get rid of the grave weed, but too late. We got rid of the rope, and then we're just about to climb the sheer wall of the castle. Rockface, you no longer have a roof. Yeah, I mean, do we want to attack the monster? What do we think? We're still pretty tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, or we can try and escape and go up the wall. What are people thinking? Rockface. Keith is saying Rockface.
Yeah, I think Rockface maybe.
All right, yeah, I think as I've already taken a bit of damage and I haven't had a chance to heal yet, because that definitely doesn't count as a passage where nothing's happening.
Yeah.
A terrible growling follows you across the bleak shore as you race towards the high rock wall that is the base of Zardum. If you go there, Sheridan, you will die. Sorry, getting carried away. There's a really good this guy called Stam Fine's got a channel on here. He's done a great, really extensive review of Babylon 5. It's really good, really good.
Have you seen the new animated film?
Oh, do you know what? I saw the Blu-ray of that for sale in a charity shop the other day for like $5. Should I have got it? Is it good?
I haven't seen it. No, there's a brand new one, a brand new animated.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Really? And it's in the charity shop already?
Well, it wasn't a charity shop. It was in CXR, you know, where they do all the video games and.
Oh, right. No, I haven't seen it. I just wondered if you had.
No, but I was keen to know if it was any good. I wonder. Is somebody voicing Delenn? You know, might be the same without Delenn.
No, I know. Yeah, well, there's quite a few of them that are no longer with us.
Yeah, which is a real shame. So many of them died so young as well on
Yeah.
that show. Quite like an absurdly high number. And when you think that it started later than Star Trek: The Next Generation, and all of the Star Trek Next Generation cast are still alive, and half the Babylon 5 cast are already dead.
Yeah.
It's sad. Okay, anyway, back to the matter at hand, Castle Death. Staying with that topic. Right, so right. You run across the bleak shore, race towards the high rock wall at the base of Castle Doom. At first, the sand feels comfortably warm, but now your boots become unbearably hot. Don't like the sound of that. Here are the options. Just a few yards ahead of you, you see a line of stepping stones rising out of the scorching black sand. The stones lead up to a jagged fissure in the rock wall. If you choose to leap onto the nearest stone slab, press 177. If you decide to avoid the stepping stones and press on through the burning sand, turn to 104. I mean, stones seems the obvious choice, as our feet are now on fire. Yeah, go with that.
Yeah.
177. I don't remember this book at all. I must have only played it once. Okay, well, I think we've made a good choice because it says the relief you feel is instantaneous. Now I'll take the combat chart down for the moment. You move from one stone to the next until you reach the shadowy opening in the wall. Echoing in the darkness, you can hear the rustle and slither of unseen things. Mail's available for weddings and bar mitzvahs for your sound effect requirements.
Absolutely.
Suddenly, something round and black breaks through the surface of the lake and splits the night with a hideous cry. It hovers for a few seconds above the water before hurtling towards you at unnerving speed. If you wish to take cover from this creature by entering the fissure, turn to 16. If you have a bow and wish to use it, I do. Turn to 255. If you decide to draw a hand weapon and prepare for combat, my God, it's like 3 combats before we've even got in the castle. I mean, in the fissure sounds a bit creepy too, but I mean, using the bow. I mean, I've got a bow. I've got a quiver with 10 arrows in it. You know, I don't. But I've got +3 with this bow because it's a good bow. It's got like +3 on all bow mastery rolls. So I'm leaning towards bow or fissure. Definitely not just draw a weapon and hope for the best.
No, I would go for the bow.
Yeah, I'm going to go. Okay, let's use the bow. 225. Only the faint green light of the power shield illuminates your moving target. You notch an arrow and take a careful aim as it speeds up the beach. It presents a difficult target as it's weaving in and out of the boulders in its path. There's a picture of something else funny here, which I'm going to show you, but it's not for this. It's not for this passage. It's this giant toad thing. I mean, that might be what we're firing at, but it's not. It's not for this. It's like a toad snake. Okay, it presents a difficult target. Pick a number. In other words, roll a die 10. If you have the disciplinary of weapon, you add 3 to the number. I don't have the disciplinary, but I have the +3. So the thing is, actually, next book, I should pick that because that will give me +6 with the bow, which would be really good. So if we're going to roll a d10, we're going to add 3 to the number, and we want high. Okay, so what we don't want to do is roll a 1. Ten. So we score 13. I mean, that should be an automatic kill, I think. Right. So 112. Oh yeah. The arrow pierces the center of the sphere and disappears completely. Fearing that your missile has proved harmless, you shoulder your bow and are about to draw a hand weapon when suddenly there is a flash of light and a tremendous explosion. The black sphere bursts into 1,000 pieces and is consumed in a fireball of blinding yellow flame. A wave of heat sears your face as you're hurled backwards into the fissure by the force of the blast. Lose 1 endurance point. Okay. Right. Again, remind me when there's nothing happening so I can start healing these.
Yeah.
I'm down to 24 now. Turn to 16. Okay. Takes a few minutes for you to get your bearings in the gloom of the narrow corridor. Outside, strange sounds echo across the beach, making you forget your natural caution, and you move deeper into the darkness. The uneven floor is coated with mud, and the warm, moist air reeks with a repugnant odor that rivals even Esme's farts.
They're pretty bad.
Yeah, I know. I've been there. You press on, taking pains not to slip or fall, but the light soon completely disappears and you're brought to a halt. Now, funnily enough, it says, if you possess a culty fire spear, lantern torch, or tinderbox, turn to 61. Well, I've got both a tinderbox and the fire spear. So actually, probably we should have got rid of the tinderbox because I've got the fire spears, so we don't need that anyway. But so I'll crack open my fire spears. Turn to 61. We'll see what happens. Your light flares brightly in the moist gloom of the passageway. A cavern immediately lies ahead. It's got a high arched roof of a mass of dripping stalactites. They hang like spears of pearly white stone. Cautiously, you step across the cavern floor. Yeah, I always remember in D&D, they always used to fall on you. Your skin is prickling as peculiar sounds emanate from the eerie shadows. See, and now Esme chooses to be quiet.
Yeah.
We wanted those eerie dog sounds. Never mind. Oh yes, now this is a section where nothing is happening, so I get 1 endurance point back. Thank you for the reminder, Keith. Okay, so I'm back up to 25 because I use my ability of curing. Okay, here are the options. A staircase ascends through an archway to your left. Directly ahead stands a massive stone door. If you choose to examine the stone door, or you can ascend the stairs. So the stairs go up and through an archway. Directly ahead of me is a massive stone door. Yeah, that's it. Door or stairs, basically.
Stairs.
Stairs. Okay. All right. So on the next section, if there's no combat happening, I'll also heal up another point. 193. The stairs seem to continue on forever, coiling its way upward through the solid rock. Eventually, you arrive at a landing from which a tunnel stretches into darkness. You are about to enter when your basic Kai instincts, my spider senses trembling, alert you to a shallow step that crosses from one side of the tunnel to the other. A closer look reveals the step to be a perfect square of marble that covers the first 10 feet of the tunnel. That sounds like a trap to me. If you wish to prod the marble slab with a weapon to test for a trap, turn to 183. If you decide to jump across the slab into the tunnel beyond, if you decide to enter the tunnel by walking across the slab. So jump over the slab, walk across the slab, or prod the slab with a staff or sword or whatever.
Prod it.
Yeah, I think prod it. I'm not going to use my magical sword to prod it. I'll just use something else. So 183. Let's see. No matter how hard you prod the slab, it shows no sign of movement. However, your probing does uncover something previously hidden beneath the dust. Carefully, you scrape away the grime until the outline of a coiled snake is revealed, etched deep in the dull grey marble. Carved into the centre of its scaly coils is the number 123. Make a note of this. It could prove useful later. Okay. So we might be asked for a number. I'm going to put that 123. Okay, that's probably going to be like the code to a safe or something.
Yeah,
like that.
combination lock.
Yeah, it could be. Macy's saying prod it. Yeah. Okay, so I did put my endurance back up to another one. So it's currently at 25. Okay, so if you choose to jump across the slab and press onto the tunnel, if you decide to enter the tunnel by walking across the slab, well, if those are the only two options, I say jump across.
Yeah.
Try and avoid it. Okay, 127. I think there's going to be lots of snakes in this place. I hate snakes. You clear the slab with one bound and press on swiftly along the winding tunnel as if nothing has happened, whistling away like a young jolly japes person that you are on an Enid Blyton adventure. A warm, damp wind whistles along the rough-walled passageway. So there you go, there is a whistling. Carrying with it the rancid smell of sulphur and decay.
Lovely.
Over an hour, you make your way along this tunnel, leaping over occasional fissures in the uneven floor, taking care not to tread on the host of glistening blue-black worms that slither away in the cracks in the rocks when your light invades their dank, dark world. Lovely. Eventually, the tunnel opens out into an oval-shaped chamber, a staircase festooned with cobwebs. I do love that word, festooned. Festooned with cobwebs ascends to an open trapdoor in the ceiling. Okay. Through this aperture, you can see the familiar pale green glow of the power shield. At the foot of the stairs lie the mouldering remains of a body that is partially encased in armor. A rusty sword is clenched in its skeletal fist, and a bone-handled dagger protrudes from the base of the skull. Okay, here are the options. There's 3. If you wish to climb the stairs to the trapdoor, that's one option. If you want to examine the remains of the body more closely, or you can leave this chamber and continue along the tunnel. We should definitely examine the body.
Definitely, yeah.
There's always stuff to be found, isn't there? 199. It is a warrior skeleton from Jason and the Argonauts. Okay, here we go. You recognize the dead man's hauberk as that of a Kakushian mercenary. The 10-pointed star of Nikisa, the symbol of the country's capital, adorns one of their rusty buckles. There's a leather pouch in which you discover 6 gold crowns. Well, thank you very much.
Yay.
Take those. Oh, and I've now healed up again. Another thing. So 26. Gold crowns. I've now got 33 on my possession. Okay. There's the tattered remains of a backpack. There is rope. Well, we'll have our rope back then. Rope. Thank you. We'll take the rope. The bone-handled dagger crumbles to dust when you try and dislodge it, and the blade of the sword is dull and eaten with rust. You can now continue along the tunnel, or you can climb the stairs and investigate the open trapdoor. All globbits. Trapdoor. All globbits. Do you remember that? That animated TV show called Trapdoor?
I never saw that.
You'd love it. You'd love it. Right up your street.
Yeah, no, I never saw it.
Made by the same team, I think, that made that show about the cavemen. You know, where you got the cavemen and they all sort of talk.
Yeah.
And they're all like farting all the time and stuff. I don't know if you saw that. Very funny. Tunnel or trapdoor? What do we think? What does chat say? There's chat. No, they're all just talking amongst themselves. Okay. Yeah, I did remember to heal.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to go.
Trapdoor.
Yeah, I'm inclined to go trapdoor. All right, 90. We're going to go trapdoor. 93. 93. Cleaving a path through the thick cobwebs proves more difficult than you had anticipated. Sticky rope-like strands soon cover you from head to foot, and to your horror, they start to shrink. It is too late to evade this attack. You must fight for your life. Trap webs. Combat skill of 14, endurance of 34. This enemy is immune to Mind Blast and Psi Surge. Owing to your decreased ability to move, reduce your combat skill by 2. I'm still going to try. I've got plus 16, so it takes it to plus 14. If your combat skill reaches 0, you've permanently... Oh, I have to reduce my combat skill by 2 points at the beginning of each round. So, okay. So my combat skill currently is 30. It's now 28, which gives me 6 still plus 40. Okay. So that's going to go down each round. And I'm unable to use potion or fire seed at any point. Right. Okay. God, this thing's a bit nasty then.
Yeah.
So here we go. Carnivorous cobwebs. Right. Well, let's see if we can kill it, because on the first round we got that's an 8. That oh, by the way, it's got endurance of 34, Mel. So if you could keep track.
Yeah.
On the first round, I do. On the first round, I have killed it. So I chopped it to bits. I got out because I got a KIA. So I don't even have to do damage. I just when you're on the maximum chart, which is plus 11 or greater, any roll of 8, 9, or 10 is a kill, and then 7 is 18 damage. You only take damage if you roll 6 or lower. So yeah, you're on pretty good odds on that one. Okay, well, fuck you, spider things. 131. Okay, so I obviously don't get to heal in that section because I was in combat.
Yeah.
In this section I do. Cutting yourself free from the last of the deadly strands, you race headlong up the stairs. out through the open portal, you discover that during the struggle, you have lost a weapon and one item from your backpack. Erase a weapon of your choice and the second item on your list of backpack items. But hang on a minute, I have to take umbrage here. I'm sorry. Can I not simply just go back down the stairs and retrieve my weapon? I feel that that's a bit... Okay, well, look, we're not going to break the rules here. Well, that's annoying because I've got two weapons. One of them is the summer sword. The other is the cool bow with the +3. Now, I might have... yes, I do. I have an Oakland staff, which also counts as a weapon, but is in my special items. So I don't want to lose either my sword or my bow. So I'm going to lose the Oakland staff. That was given to me by a magician on a previous adventure, but it said even though it counts as a weapon, you can list it under special items, which you can carry 12. So I guess I had that on my back and it got caught, and there we go. Why I've got an alarm on for 12:15, I've no idea. Okay, so I now heal again, so I'm back up to 27, so 1 point away from normal. And we go, and funny enough, I've got to turn to 27. What did you do today, Mel? Anything nice?
I met up with a couple of friends and we went to a sculpture park.
Oh.
Looked at some sculpture and then went to the pub and had lunch.
Well, I could have partaken in that. You should have told me.
Yeah.
I went to Walthamstow.
Oh, right.
And hunted round the charity shops there. Picked up a couple of good books. But Walthamstow's got some really nice pubs and places to eat. I went to Walthamstow Village and had a drink in one of the pubs there. And had a mooch about. And, looked at all the people with big beards. And then came back again. Right, believe it or not, we're straight into another combat.
Oh, blimey.
So, stepping carefully through the slime-smeared rubble, you stop for a moment to catch your breath and survey the shattered keep of Zahurdum. It's a desolate sight. Let me just check that. It's definitely the right thing. You find... Oh, hang on. I missed a bit here. You find yourself standing in the ruins of a small storehouse. Through the shattered pane of a solitary arch window, you can see the eerie outline of broken battlements of a fire-blackened tower. They are the wrecked remains of Zahurdum. Okay, so that hatch has basically taken us out onto the surface of the island, right? And there's a little illustration there. That's what we can see in the distance. Okay, so then when we turn to 27, stepping carefully through the slime-smeared rubble, you stop for a moment, catch the sight of the keeper Zahurdum. It's a desolate sight, blah, 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 blah. In the centre of the keep stands the Great Hall. It's still an imposing stronghold, made all the more frightening by constant flashes of green lightning. They're really going for the visuals. Beyond its burned and fungus-covered wooden door, twisted trees form with sharp barbed thorns that sprawl across cracked flagstones like coils of steel wire. This place sounds more and more uninviting every second. You're about to enter when a movement in the air around your head arrests you. A shape is taking form in the doorway, a shadowy figure with flaming red eyes, and an icy chill grips your heart as it sweeps past you with a swirling rush of wind. You spin around to see it hovering in the sky. Okay, its shadowy hand now grips a great spiked ball and chain. It shrieks an unearthly cry, and the ball whistles down towards your unprotected face. It looks like this. And you can see, if you look at his legs, they're kind of like, so he's like formed out of mist. If you possess the Magna Chi discipline of Size Screen, turn to 38. Okay, so I don't know if I do. No, I've got size surge. I don't have size screen. So I'm straight into combat with this guy. Owing to the speed of the attack, deduct 3 points from your combat skill for the total of the first 3 rounds of combat. So that means my combat skill is reduced from 30 to 27. He's got combat skill of 20. His endurance is 29. That's the number you need to remember. So it's a difference of 7. So not quite as high and funky as we were before.
Yeah.
But he's still not uber powerful. 10. I think that might be a KIA. Let's have a look. +7. 10 is a KIA. No damage to me. Oh, there you go, Mel. You don't have to worry about keeping these numbers. I just kill things really quick. The shadow flare flares brightly red before dissolving into a dense grey mist that is carried away swiftly on the stormy air. A sudden chill makes you shiver. You pull your cloak tightly around yourself, taking comfort in its warmth, but it is cold. But the cold comes not from the damp wind, but somewhere inside you. You feel hungry. You must eat now or lose 3 endurance points. When you finished your meal, see, now I haven't got any food because my food all got spoiled. So my endurance, which is currently 27, is now down to 24. But I can still heal it as I'm. But if we could find some food, that would be useful. I do have the skill of hunting, but I don't think that's going to be any use here because it's not like there's some places for rabbits that I can leave.
Yeah.
So yeah. God damn, there's okay, right. Stealthily, you move across the cracked flagstone floor of the Great Hall, with your muscles and nerves tensed for sounds of danger. The constant noise of dripping water and the howl of the storm add to the utter desolation of this chamber. A thorny jungle of briars climbs the walls with greedy claws, coiling around the rotten frames of paintings and weaving through the damp and mouldering tapestries. Suspended above the fireplace is a great Anirian broadsword, its pitted steel blade pointing to one side. Your eyes travel along the blade to the shadows of the fireplace, and you notice something lying in the grate. Moving nearer, you see that it's the body of a dead man, and there is, once again, there's a picture. So, there we go. Tunnels are scary. Yes, they are, David. And the dice was kind. The dice was kind. Okay. Keith is saying heal. Yeah, okay. So I get 1 point back. Thank you, Keith. So I'm back up to 25 for this section. Okay. Here are the options, Mel. And I think we know what we're going to choose. Do you want to examine the dead body or continue through the secret passage without examining it?
Examine the body.
Yeah, because beyond him, there's some stairs disappearing into the darkness. So he's at that's a fireplace, but there's a secret passage in the fireplace. You see. Okay, examine the body. I agree. Maybe there'll be some food. 11. Oh, hang on. No, that's 146. That was descend the staircase. We want examine the body. 146. Someone's having a good snoring session there.
Yeah.
First thing that catches your attention is the warrior's lack of wounds. No sword cuts or arrows have pierced his armor. If it not for the unmistakable smell of death, you could be forgiven for thinking he was sleeping deeply. You turn the body over to take a look at his face and recoil in shock at the sight that greets you. The eyes are missing. The tongue hangs out, dark and swollen. From the corners of the twisted mouth oozes a thick, greenish fluid. Filled with revulsion, you back away from the body and step into the secret passage. Lone Wolf, available for your children now, age 5 and up. Yeah, Lone Wolf was always aimed at sort of, it was more the young adult market they were going for. I did like that. They were a bit more brutal in their descriptions. Okay, so we didn't find anything on him.
No.
I suspect, like, knowing the circumstances under which he met his demise may prove useful for us.
Yes.
Okay, descending the narrow staircase, you soon arrive at a tunnel-like corridor that is sandwiched between two walls of moulding masonry. Foul, oily water gurgles along a channel in the slippery floor. In the slippery floor towards a distant archway that is blocked by an Iron Age blackened portcullis. Bolted to its crisscross of bars is a plaque which bears a curious design. Right, you see that plaque?
Yeah.
That might be one of, if you ever get that as a riddle, you know what the riddle is, don't you? It's how many triangles exist in that image.
Mm.
The big triangle, that's one triangle. Then
Yeah.
you've got triangles within triangles, and so on and so on. So that might be what it's asking. On the wall to your left is a rusty nail with a brass pointer set around it like the numerals of a clock and numbers from 1 to 40. Below the dial there is a lever. Your basic kite instincts tell you that by selecting the correct number or numbers and pulling the lever, the portcullis will open. It's asking me if I have the skill of deviation or the skill of pathmanship. Well, I have both of those skills, so I reserve the right to view both of the numbers, I think. So 167 for deviation, but I'm sure the number is going to be how many triangles are in that image.
Well, there was the number that was on the marble slab as well.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, but it's not going to be that. I don't think. There's not 123 triangles in that image.
Well, no.
So let's see what these things say. I'll use both my Jedi, my Kai skills. You sense that a trap guards this portal. If you should choose the wrong number or numbers before pulling the lever, then the consequences will prove fatal. Okay. And then pathmanship, what does that tell me? 306. It tells me using your discipline, you focus your attention on the strange triangular plaque fixing to the bars, and gradually its purpose becomes clear. Told you, by finding the total number of triangles contained in the design and turning the pointer to the number on the dial before pulling the lever, will ensure the portcullis opens safely. Return to section 11, study the design, and when you think you have the answer, turn to the entry that bears the same number. If you've chosen the correct answer, you'll be informed of your success at the relevant section. Right now, chat, you can help with this. So this is the image. So you've got one big triangle in the whole thing there. Then you've got two that contain 4 triangles each as well. Then you've got another one at the bottom. So there's the one big one, 3 other ones, and then you've got all of the small ones on top of that. So total small ones is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, including the big one, and then 3 others. I'm just trying to think if there's another one. So that's potentially the number is 13.
Yeah, that's what I make it.
Yeah. Are we missing any? I think it's 13. Unlucky for some. Okay. I think it is. Shrieks of metal on the metal reverberates along the tunnel as a great iron cog grinds into action. This section is the correct answer. Slowly, the portcullis rises into the roof. Wasting no time, you duck beneath the pointed bars and hurry away into the passage beyond. Rats flee, squeaking as you stalk along the slippery flagstones. You wince with disgust as their claws rasp at the wet rock and hairless tails furrow the stinking green slime that covers the surface of the tunnel floor. Sounds like your dogs would have a right time here. Oh yes, heal. Very good, Keith. I need to heal again. And actually, I went to. I've gone through enough sections to go back up to 28 because I also did the 2 bits where I stopped and looked around every time you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, good. So heal is okay. So if you they squeal and whirl around your head. Oh, these rats are halfway down the stairs you disturb a colony of bats nesting in the ceiling. They squeal angrily and whirl around your head, battering you with their wings and nipping at your face with their sharp needle-like teeth. If you possess the Magnakai discipline of animal control or psi surge, turn to 180. I do. I control psi.
Animal.
I've got animal kinship. That's the weedier version.
Right.
But I do have psi surge. So I suspect I'm going to blast them with my psionic abilities. 180. Drawing the power of your Kai skill, you take a deep breath and give voice to a single unbroken tone. Sweat breaks out on your forehead as you raise the pitch of your voice steadily until it passes beyond the range of your own hearing. Suddenly the bats all shriek in unison. They twist and shudder and hurl themselves against the walls. As the few survivors whirl away into the darkness, you cease your call and hurry down the stairs. So if you use the okay. So I have to deduct 1 endurance for that because when you use that, you lose 1.
Mm-hmm.
Turn to 236. Okay, 236. Okay, 236 is not a combat section, so that endurance will go back up to normal. A stone room awaits you at the bottom of the stairs, featureless and bare except for a weapons rack hanging on the wall. It contains a spear and a broadsword, both in remarkably good condition. I don't need either of those, though. I've got a bow and a sword. And I don't think, unless it says, I don't think I can replace my stave because it's not a special item. Right, 2 torchlit tunnels offer exits from the chamber. One descends north, the other to the east. If you have the skill of pathmanship, turn to 139, which I do. Okay, so that's going to tell us which is the better option.
Yeah.
139. Not the section that we're dealing with right now, but an amusing illustration nonetheless. That might be the chef. Covering the floor of the north tunnel are a myriad tiny animal tracks. Rats, mice, worms, and snakes, dens in common to every subterranean lair, have all left their mark. Yet the east tunnel bears no such markings. The ground is smooth and undisturbed. Not even a film of dust discolors this grey stone floor. Your senses scream a warning that this tunnel is not what it seems. So, in other words, the east tunnel is probably a trap. So we should take the north tunnel where all the rats and things are.
Yes.
All right, I agree, but I'm curious. I want to see what it says if you go the other way. So we're gonna go north. So we're gonna go 187. So I'll just mark that. I think what I'll do is I'll grab a rock and throw it down the other tunnel. See what happens. So 101. Just curious to see what it says. Your adventure ends here. I'll tell you what happens if you go that way without any warning. A solid iron door slams behind you, seals off the entrance to the chamber. And then your choices are either to try and open the door or carry on down the tunnel, neither of which sounds good. But we didn't do that. We're going the other way. This tunnel descends into a vast cavernous hall. Spirals of yellow smoke rise up on either side of a narrow stone walkway that leads to its center. There it meets another path running from east to west. Cautiously you advance along the walkway. Your stomach unsettled by the stench of the sulphurous smoke and the sight of the dark, yawning void on either side. At the junction, you hear the sound of running feet echoing from an archway to your right. The footfalls grow louder. Suddenly, a man in leather armor bursts out of the darkness, his studded boots striking sparks on the stone pathway as he skids to a halt. Sweat pours down his lean, leathery face, and his eyes flash with fear. He casts an anxious glance over his shoulder before unsheathing his sword and advancing towards you. I think this guy is not an enemy.
Yeah, I think it's that guy's brother from the boat.
I think you might be right. These are the options. If you have the Magna Kai skill of divination, if you wish to draw a bow and fire, defend your weapon and prepare to defend yourself. Well, I do have the divination thing, so let's see what that does. You sense the man is petrified with fear. An aura of evil is growing stronger by the second, radiating from the darkened archway like some terrible black heat. This presence of evil is so strong within the archway, it obscures your discipline, and you cannot tell for sure if the warrior is friend or foe. So you have there's a typo in the book here. It lists the option to fire your bow twice. Look at that. It's at the top and at the bottom of the page. I've seen that same typo in the last book that it had the same thing. So there are 3 options, not 4, as it would have us believe. Fire the bow, prepare to defend with the sword, avoid confrontation by running into the archway opposite. I think avoid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're in agreement. 47. God, I fancy a pizza. That's a dream and a half, isn't it? Oh, Mel is calming the beast as we. You are no more than 10 feet from the archway when a ghastly scream freezes you in your tracks and forces you to glance over your shoulder at a terrible scene. 3 creatures no taller than men, but with shiny black skin as black as night, are clawing at the warrior in a grisly tug of war. The snapping of bone and tearing of flesh makes you shudder, and the sight of the dead man's limbs being swallowed whole makes your stomach churn uncontrollably. These ghoulish creatures gurgle their delight as their jaws dislocate to accommodate their fleshy feast. As their fiery eyes fix themselves upon you, a cold dagger of fear stabs your mind. Blinded by sudden panic, you turn and flee into the darkness of the archway. Okay, that sounds pretty bad.
Yep.
So I think the guy that we just saw, I think he just got eaten. So if it was the brother of that dude, sorry about that. You've taken but a few steps when you hear a faint whispering sound. You watch horrified as the hard stone floor beneath your feet is transformed into a yawning black hole. Helplessly, you tumble into the void. A few moments later, you are knocked unconscious. Your head smashes against a jagged outcrop of rock as you plummet into the pit's unknown depths. And that does not sound good. But we're still alive. 164. Have a feeling we're about to lose a whole load of shit. Oh my god, and we're in another combat situation. You're again, and guess what we're in combat with? Can you guess?
The rock monster?
No, a giant snake.
Oh.
I told you there's going to be a lot of snakes in this thing. You regain consciousness with a start, reaching instinctively for your weapon. Lest danger be waiting to greet you. You find yourself on top of a mound of rotting vegetation stacked high in the corner of the shadowy chamber. A harsh reptilian odor fills your nostril, the unmistakable smell of snakes. As your vision clears, you notice amid the slime that covers the floor what appears to be undigested human bones. A rib cage, 2 skulls, a thigh bone, and several vertebrae are illuminated by a shaft of light which descends from a grill in the ceiling. And this is the thing that's going to be greeting our sight in a second. Where is it? There we go. Yeah. know what I'd be saying. I wouldn't be going, I'd be going, ah! It flickers for a fleeting moment. You catch a glimpse like of a skull-like face through iron bars. Fear wells up inside you as a chilling laugh pierces the silence. Yet it is not the sound of crawling human laughter that freezes your blood. It's the sight of the colossal wedge-shaped head that is rearing through the mound on which you are sitting. It is the head of a gigantic snake. You leap to your feet and run for the far corner of the chamber, your blood pounding loudly in your ears. The snake rises up almost to the ceiling, its forked tongue flickering angrily below in a single yellow eye, which is set deep. Oh, it's got one eye in the middle. Okay, deep in the center of its scaly green head. Once more, the chamber echoes to cruel laughter as the monster shakes off its rotting nest and slithers forward. Right. If you have the Magna discipline of animal control or have reached Kai Primate, turn to 137. I do not have that skill, sadly.
But you're Kai Primate.
Oh, I am a Kai Primate. That's true. Let me just check. I'm pretty sure I'm a Kai Primate. Let me just check. You begin the Lone Wolf Magna. Oh, yes. Yeah, this is my second Magna Chi adventure, so I've reached the rank of Primate. That's correct. 137. Okay. Oh, by the way, the other options are if you have a bow and wish to use it, if you have neither a bow nor the required level of animal control, turn to 301. I have a feeling you might be dead if you go there. Well, let's see what 137 says. I have a feeling the bow's not going to be that useful in this situation. With all your will, you command the snake to come no closer. Its great eye burns at you with a fiery stare, the black slit pupil shrinking and dilated with every beat of the creature's evil heart. It sways above you, hesitating to attack as your Kai Mastery plants seeds of doubt in its mind, blocking its prime evil desire to savage and consume your warm-blooded being. As the monstrous head sways from side to side, you catch a glimpse of a small tunnel in the opposite wall, previously hidden by the snake and its nest. The sight of this possible means of escape momentarily breaks your concentration, and the snake lunges forward to attack. Shit. Reluctantly, it retreats at your renewed command and settles in the center of the chamber, its head resting on its coils as it nestles down to sleep. If you have any arrows in your quiver, they've fallen out and have been lost in your fall. You must now erase them from the action chart. If you decide to now attack the snake, turn to 219. If you decide to skirt round the creature and enter the tunnel, go to 260. Do we want to try and take it out? Or let's get the... it's pretty big, isn't it? It's pretty big.
Yeah. I say we make a run for it.
It's pretty big. It's pretty big. Yeah, all right. I'm in favor of making a run for it. 260. Let's do that. The tunnel reeks with the rancid odor of decay, and to your dismay, you discover that it's no more than a shallow cave. It provides shelter for a clutch of gigantic eggs, each one as big as a barrel of ale. So basically, we've gone from the frying pan into the fire.
The fire, yeah.
Rest upon a bed, packs of torn clothing that once belonged to adventurers who fell foul of the giant snake. Now, if you wish to examine these items more closely, turn to 148. If you decide to search for a way to escape from the tunnel, turn to 346. Shall we search the belongings quickly?
Yes, yeah.
I think so. Could be all manner of things here. It might, of course, say that the snake eggs start to hatch. Oh, there's quite a few items. Here we go. The eggs are warm and you can feel tiny movements through their leathery shells. Carefully, you roll them aside and sift through the debris of the nest. You find a mace, padded leather waistcoat. If you possess the battered leather waistcoat, you can replace it with this one. You may also wear it under a chainmail waistcoat if you possess one. I have got a waistcoat. Which one is it? Let's have a look. I've got the padded leather waistcoat already, so it's not the battered one. There's a sword. There's a helmet, which I've already got, +2 endurance. There's a blanket. There's a bottle of wine. And a potion of lamp spur. Okay, now my endurance is back to normal. That's fine. I'm going to take the potion of lamp spur for sure.
Yeah.
We'll take that. I'll take the bottle of wine. That replaces everything I lost from my...
Except your arrows.
Yeah, except my arrows, bottle of wine. But everything I lost earlier has now been replaced. And I'll also take the blanket. Okay, blanket. Okay, how you doing for time, Mel? You all right?
Yeah, fine. Yeah.
Okay, right. Well, we'll keep going for the moment. If you take it, okay, the sound of a bolt and a creak of a dry hinge echoes from the chamber behind you, causing your pulse to race. Pick a number from the random number table. Okay, so we've got to roll a dice, basically. So someone's in command of the snake, then, clearly. Oh, but I think judging from the cover of the book, there's an evil wizard that lives in this evil castle. That's an 8. Turn to 3, 4, 6. Your dog sure does dream.
Yeah.
Desperately, you tap the wall with the hilt of your weapon, praying for the dull telltale thud of a thin or hollow partition from which you might escape. The wall, however, yields no such sound, but in the roof you discover an old trapdoor hatch that has been sealed off with bricks and mortar. A faint glimmer of light seeping through hairline cracks fills you with renewed hope. With a flurry of blows, the mortar crumbles and the bricks split and fall. Without waiting for the dust to settle, you climb through the jagged hole and emerge into a hall that is filled with the damp and earthy smell. 2 rows of great stone pillars support the roof, and a huge granite sarcophagus stands in the center of the floor. From within a black tunnel to your right, you can hear clanking armor and the sound of approaching footsteps. Here are the options. There's 3. Hide behind the pillars. Leave the hall by the tunnel to your left. Lie in ambush for whoever is approaching.
Hide behind the pillar.
Hide behind... Yeah, I was thinking hide behind the pillar.
Yeah, you might see something.
Yeah, I think hide behind the pillar is a good one. Let's go with that. The pillar is an evil creature. Your journey ends here. Oh, another picture. And guess what? It's the pig people again.
Oh.
In pig armor. Some description. 4 warriors, dark and grim, march into the hall in single file. At once their blackened armor and skull-like helmets make you think they're Darakim, evil humanoid warriors of the Dark Lords. However, they draw to a halt before the sarcophagus, and you can see that they cannot possibly be. Their great sloping shoulders support unnaturally long arms, and the hands that grip their weapons are covered with bristling ginger hair. Can never trust a ginger. Yellow talons curve from their fingers, and behind them hang long black tails, tufted at the end like tails of lions. Their leader grunts a command and approaches the grey granite tomb. They raise their hairy fist and depress 3 buttons set into the stone. A secret panel slides open, and all 4 step into it. As soon as they disappear from view, the panel closes behind them without a sound. So, if you wish to leave the tunnel from which wish to leave the hall from the tunnel by which the warriors appeared, that's one option. There's still the tunnel to the left, or I can examine the sarcophagus.
Examine the sarcophagus.
Yeah, it's a bit... Feels like we have to, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The sarcophagus is covered with intricate carvings depicting a procession of strange creatures. Some are part human, some are part animal, and there's also Mel. Others are wholly alien to you. That must be that one. To anything you've encountered before. One carving in particular holds your attention. It depicts a snake coiled around a row of 3 stone buttons. It reminds you of the lock designed by the locksmith of Holmgard, the capital city of your homeland. Your keen eyes are drawn to a faint crack that runs vertically through the stone. You follow the line of this crack and trace the outline of a concealed door. 3 options. Do you want to try and open the door, leave the tunnel to your right, or leave the hall to the tunnel to your left? So, in other words, go where the guys came in, go into the sarcophagus, or try the other corridor?
I think what we're looking for is probably going to be hidden and well guarded, so I would say it's inside the sarcophagus.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Is it worth exploring a bit more before we go for the sarcophagus? Is it worth checking out other corridors? Because we can probably come back here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking. Might be interesting to see where these pig soldiers came from.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to reserve.
Might come from the kitchen.
Indeed, and I do need to get some food. Good to see you, Sir Clueless, one of the guys whose streams I hang on. He's going for Secret Tunnel. Well, we're probably going to come back to that. All right, so I'm going to do 323, which is where they came from. But I'm going to reserve the right to, even if it doesn't give me the option, to simply come back into this room if needs be. You thread your way through a network of empty passages and chambers. Twice you're forced to hide when groups of warriors appear unexpectedly, same as the ones before. At the bottom of a narrow, winding stairway, you arrive at a small but opulently furnished chamber. Its walls are hung with beautiful tapestries and damaged by damp that pervades the upper levels of the fortress. It looks as if you've reached a dead end, and you're about to turn back when suddenly you notice a small door tucked away in one corner of the room. If you wish to go through the door, blah, 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 if you decide to take a look at the tapestries, or, even though it's not written there, we can go back. I think look at the tapestries first.
Yeah.
The designs are woven from pure gold and silver, studded with gems and semi-precious stones. They must be worth several thousand gold crowns. One gem in particular catches your eye. It's a large diamond. Unable to resist the temptation. Thanks for making that decision for me, book, by the way. You prise it from the cloth and drop it into your pocket. Mark this diamond as a special item. Okay, well, I've got room for... Okay, large diamond. I hope there's an option to sell that at the end. Large diamond. Okay, well, I guess that was worth exploring.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go through the small door. Now, I still reserve the right to retrace my steps and go back to the sarcophagus. 256. Dark corridor awaits you beyond the door. You enter and feel your way along its dank wall. The sudden screech of metal sends a chill down your spine, and to your horror, you see a wall of black iron falling in front of the door. That sounds like a trap.
Yeah.
I reserve the right to run back where I've come from. Let's just see what this says. 37. In a matter of seconds, the exit is sealed off completely. A loud hissing fills your ears, and a strangely bitter smell assails your nostrils. By the time you realize that the air is being flooded with powerful gas, you're already succumbing to its irresistible power. Hold on. I think we might want to go back to that sarcophagus. 165. Right. Well, this is interesting. I think we'll play this out. You awake to such an astounding sight, you feel you must be dreaming. Before you lies a titanic circular hall of glittering marble, rising tier upon tier like a gigantic amphitheatre. A vast pit fills its centre, from out of which there arises a pinnacle of black iron. It is licked by sheets of flame that roar up from the depths below. Scores of seated creatures crowded in tiers every one of them staring at you, their eyes pinpoints of malevolent fire gleaming coldly from the shadows of their hooded robes. Now, there's actually a picture of this. You hear the rustle of their mocking laughter. A great gong booms in the distance.
Bong.
An urge to run from this evil place grips you like a fever, but your wrists are manacled securely to a bronze ring fixed to the wall above your head. "Let the trial commence," commands a mighty voice, filling the hall with clamoring echoes. As the robed spectators rise from their seats and a shaft of light pours down upon the pinnacle. So this is basically where we're at. So I feel we'll play this out. Illuminating the outline of a man, white-haired and gaunt, seated on a massive throne of solid gleaming gold. Suspended in the air above his head are two crystals. One sparkles like a polished diamond. The other is as black as a grave. A crackling arc of energy between the two flickering blue light sends a ghostly shadow on the face of the seated lord. "Intruder," he said, his voice soft yet chilling. "You have come to Zahatum with murder in your heart. Have not the cowards of Elysium promised to reward you for my destruction?" A drone of dissent surges from the crowded tiers. The Lord rises slowly from the throne and turns to his baying minions, his hands outstretched as if to receive their adulation. As their ghastly drone grows louder, your eyes drawn to the sparkling crystal that hovers above the throne. A golden light has ignited its core. In a sudden flash of understanding, you realize this is the object of your quest. Here is the lore stone of Herdos. I think we would have ended up in this room sooner or later.
Yeah.
"Your verdict, my children," cries the wide-eyed old man, his voice now harsh and angry. "Guilty, Lord Zarda." The crowd howls in reply.
Hey!
They all howl guilty.
Guilty! Guilty! Guilty!
"The sentence," retorts the master. "The maze," they scream.
The maze!
If you possess the summer sword, turn to 335. Thank fuck for that, I do. I think we're about to go in some sort of death maze. 335. Well, can't stop now. A rickety hunchback creature, swathed in a hooded robe, approaches the platform on which you stand, manacled to the wall. With an efficiency born of practice, quickly it strips you of all your weapons and hands them to an ugly-faced dwarf hovering at its side. The dwarf looks at the summer sword with an appraising eye and then raises it above his head to show it to his master. Before he can speak, there is a sudden roar as a bolt of energy engulfs the hilt. Screaming with pain, the dwarf drops the sword and cradles his smoking hand. His fingers are now missing half their length. You are unable to hide your smile and are quickly punished for your insolence. The robed creature strikes you across the face. Lose 1 endurance point, so I'm down to 27. At least they can't pick up my sword. "Take the Kai to the maze," commands the white-haired lord, "and leave the sword for me." The summer sword rises into the air and floats towards the gold throne on a cushion of blue mist. As you are dragged from the hall in chains, you are taunted by Zarda's cruel laugh and the fear that your quest may now be doomed to failure. Erase all weapons and weapon-like special items. So any weapons in my special items are gone, but I don't think I have any. Oh, I have a shield. So that's gone. And I've also lost well, at the minute I've lost the summer sword and I've lost the silver bow of Jordan. Now I'm gonna make a note that this is currently 0, but I'm not going to erase them off the character sheet because there might be an opportunity to get them back, and then I'll forget what the bow was called and all of that. Make a note of them on a separate piece of paper in case you should rediscover them. Yeah, okay. So I've now got no weapons. No weapons. I still got I think I still have my armor. Just yeah. Don't think I lose my armor, but I lose, and I don't lose my special items. So I still have that power stone.
Yeah.
Turn to 286. Okay. An escort of armored guards pushes you along a steel passageway lined by a crowd of jeering minions. That sounds like the Muppets. Beaker. Lined by a crowd of jeering beakers. They punch and spit at you as you pass between them. Their foul curse rings in your ears. Guards halt before a huge door of iron and unlock the manacles that encase your bruised and bloodied wrists. The point of their spears never wander far from your throat, discouraging any attempt of escape. The door rumbles open. Oh, a chair goes up as you are pushed headfirst into the foul-smelling pit. Welcome to the maze, sneers the chilling voice of Lord. Oh, hang on. It's not like the maze keeper. It's actually the Dark Lord. Welcome to the maze, sneers the chilling voice of Lord Zahada from somewhere high above your head. You struggle to your feet and peer up at the ceiling of swirling mist. A faint glow is gradually taking shape, condensing and forming into the likeness of a human skull. There you go. No, Legend of Elden Ring's got nothing on this stream. Hey. So just see what the chat's doing. I reserve the right to run around screaming in a circle. Keithy's a big fan of the Muppets, clearly. You came here to kill, but your plans have been foiled, and now you must face the consequence, echoes a voice in the skull. You have been sentenced to enter the maze of Zada. If you escape, your life may be spared. Maybe. Thanks for that. If you fail, then you will surely die. Surely die. Yeah, well, that's probably what failing means. The skull retreats into the mist, and a chilling silence fills the pit. A semicircular shadow forms on the wall ahead. It grows larger and darker until it resembles the mouth of a cave or tunnel. Suddenly, a gust of chill air whistles from out the darkness. You realize that you're staring at the entrance to the maze. Enter or die where you stand. It is no idle threat. A crossbow bolt slams into the sand barely inches from your feet. If you disobey the command, you'll die. Reluctantly, you step forward and you enter the maze of Zada. Okay, so we're now in the maze of Zada. I have a feeling that we would have ended up in the maze of Zada no matter what we would have done. At some point, we would have ended up here. Feels a bit inevitable. You're standing in a passage, the walls of which are completely sheer and smooth. Overhead, there's the mist, dim light. Without your weapons, you feel naked and vulnerable. You take some comfort that you still have your backpack, your gold crowns, in case there's a pub. In case there's a pub in the middle of the maze of Zada, your gold crowns might be useful. And you have your special items. Cautiously, you walk along the passage, expecting the unexpected until you arrive at a circular vault. Here, you enter a block upon a block of marble. In the center of the floor lies a steel sword. As you step into the vault, slabs of stone sink into the floor to reveal two exits, one to your left and one to your right. If you have the Magna Kai skill of divination, which I do, it's going to tell me which one is the shit one, presumably. So the maze is going to change as we move forward. So, okay. So the options are use the skill, which we will, but you can also pick up the sword, turn to the left tunnel, turn to the right tunnel. I have a feeling that the sword is rigged. Let's see what the skill of divination tells us. The sword itself appears plain and unremarkable, but the block on which it rests gives off a strong aura of magic. Your Kai Mastery makes you wary of stepping any closer. If you have a rope and wish to attempt to lasso the sword, you can do that. If you ignore the sword, you can go left or you can go right. Do you possess the discipline of Nexus? I don't think I do. No, I haven't got Nexus. Lasso the sword, maybe.
Yeah.
I think why not? Could try and lasso it with the rope. Let's see if we can do that. You have no difficulty in looping the rope around the hilt of the sword and drawing it towards you. It's very plain, heavy-bladed weapon of poor quality and unworthy of your scabbard. But in this strange and hostile maze, this rough blade helps to restore your hopes of survival. Mark this weapon on your action chart. Right, so shite sword. I'm just gonna do it like a temp. Oh, hang on, lost my place. Fuck's sake. 68. So it was 68. Use the rope. Got the rope. 182. There we are. Okay, right. 182. 182. Okay. So, temp weapon. Sword of shiteness. -5 to attack. Okay. Sword. All right. Okay. So got a sword. Left tunnel. Right tunnel.
So your divination didn't say anything about either of the tunnels?
No, it was just telling me that the sword was rigged, and obviously it would have been unwise to attempt to draw the sword out of the stone. I'm just going to dash for a quick pee. We've got left or right options, those of you in chat. So anyone wants to suggest to Mel which route we should take, I'll be right back.
Left or right? In pantomime, the evil characters always enter from stage left. Stage left is usually heaven. Stage left is normally hell, and stage right is normally heaven. So maybe the right. Can I see the chat? Hang on, what we got? Oh no.
Do I hear a suggestion that we should turn right?
Yes, that was my suggestion.
Do you know what's wonderful about a time like this, Mel? It's wonderful that I remember that I have a bag of Maltesers in the fridge.
Hey.
So it's definitely snack time.
Yes, no, I was just wittering away about how in pantomime, or in theatre, well, pantomime and old religious theatre, the evil characters are on the left and heaven is on the the good characters come from the right.
Well, let's do the right. To the left, to the right. Set off a trap and you feel all right. Okay. 3, 2, 2. Having been fooled by the law of pantomime, you've walked into a trap.
Ah.
No, it doesn't say that.
Oh.
You walk along the passageway for several minutes. It turns sharply to your left. Cautiously, you peek around the corner. Your quiet instincts are alerting you to a potential threat. Peering down the passage, you see a beam of light shining from one side of the corridor to the other. The passage ahead looks no different to those in the rest of the maze, but you feel sure it contains a deadly trap. So you can either walk through the beam of light or step over it. I think step over it.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. So stepping over it is 88. Jets of fire spurt from the walls and floor, momentarily blinding you. This is even if we step over it. And Hang on. So if you step through the beam, what happened? Let me have a look. Just curious. Huh. So, by the way, if you went through the beam, you didn't set off the trap.
Ah.
So we've set off the trap.
Oh.
It singes your hair and eyelashes and forces you to retreat of fear. Lose 2 endurance points. Now, I lost 1 a while back, which I don't, but that would have healed by now. So I'm on 26. Suddenly there's a ghastly scream. Something is approaching you through the flames. In the next instant, a blazing human form staggers into view. It shrieks in agony and lurches out of the fire jets, its arms flailing wildly as it launches an attack. If you have the Kai Monastery discipline of Nexus, turn to 72. Do not have that. If you choose to defend yourself, 126. If you decide to run past the fiery attacker into the blazing inferno, if you wish to evade both the attacker and the fire, you can run back along the tunnel by turning to 320. The last one sounds like the most
Yeah.
dance, singing, always entertaining. You never know what I'm going to do on this stream. Singing whilst eating Maltesers. Double bluff trap, says David. I'm tempted to say we should run away.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, push on into the fire. Well, we've got to continue, haven't we? Because we've got to get through the maze.
Yeah. Yeah. Go on then. Rush through the fire.
Yeah, that's what they do, and that's what Debbie told me she did in the stunts. Maltesers in the fridge are a British delicacy. That is very true. They are. And Mel now has a craving for Maltesers. I can tell you. She's thinking,
well, I'm just thinking about the giant Milky Bar I've got in the bookcase.
Oh, hidden in the bookcase, no less.
Yeah.
I like that you've got a giant Milky Bar in the bookcase. Only you, Mel. Okay, go to 204. The temperature is getting higher with every step you take, but as the first flame washes over your body, you feel neither heat nor pain. The gout of the flame feels strangely cool and refreshing, like a breeze on a hot summer's day. You quicken your step and soon emerge from this heatless flames into the empty passage beyond. So it was an illusion, or
yeah.
maybe they look like flames, but they do no damage. I don't think we would have fared so well if we'd taken on the flame monster.
No.
Okay, right, we've got some options. You cover 50 yards before the passage opens onto a large circular chamber. Here on a plinth in the center of the floor rests a severed human hand. The skin is mottled and swollen. The fingers are black and decayed. Beyond the plinth, the passage continues straight ahead and is flanked by 2 pillars. Examine the hand or skirt around the plinth and enter the passage beyond.
Examine the hand.
226. By the way, Maltesers are not good to handle when you're turning pages of a book. I'm just saying. Okay. The Milky Bars are on me. The Milky Bar kid is strong and tough, because only the kid is good enough. Milky Bar kid, Milky Bar on me, and something like that. Oh, Mel's gone to get the Milky Bar.
I've got the Milky Bar. What's left of it? I've already eaten half of it.
I was about to say, I was expecting it to be bigger. I was expecting like this monstrous, like Wonka bar to like suddenly loom into the screen, but you've actually.
Well, it was, but I've already eaten most of it.
Yeah, there we go. Here we go. We're in a scene from Evil Dead. Without warning, the hand springs to life. It stands upright on its fingers, the first sword drawn back, giving the semblance of a monstrous spider preparing to attack. You step back as it scurries around on the circled granite plinth. If you choose to attack the hand, turn to 116. If you have fire seed and want to throw it at the plinth, I do have fire seed. I've got 3 of them, I think.
Yeah.
3 fire seeds. We haven't used them yet. And I did say at the beginning, I thought there'd be a reason why we had these. I say use it. 157. Catching the seed, you hurl it on the plinth as hard as you can. There's a loud crack and the shell shatters and a splash of bright flame engulfs the plinth. The hand catches fire. It wriggles and squirms. Soon it's observed by a pale, acrid black smoke. You choose to stand back and wait for the flames to die down? Or do you decide to pass around the fire and enter the passage beyond? Why do I think if we choose to wait, it's going to be bad? I have a feeling.
I'm thinking that.
Yeah. Pass. Let's keep going. 284.
Yeah.
The flames are going to enter our nostrils and turn us into something. Covering your nose with your Kai cloak, you edge your way around the smoking flames. As you step through the entrance, you walk straight into an energy barrier, a field of destructive energy that flows between 2 green pillars with a thunderous concussion. You're repelled from the shield and sent tumbling back. Lose 8 endurance points. Shit. That puts us on 18. All right. I'm going to no, I've lost where I was now. Trait. Can anyone remember the last number I said? Oh, I might have to retrace some steps here quickly. Hang on. So 204. Step 1. 204. 240. 240. 2. Yeah, 2. Hmm. 53. Dog.
I'm surprised they're not staring at me while I'm eating.
Yes, indeed. Me too. Right. Well, one of them's asleep, isn't it? Sort of like a snoring situation. Okay, right. I got it. If I'm still alive, turn to 128. Okay. Well, I am still alive. I'm turning to 128. Now I'm definitely going to have to keep my shit on the healing. So I'm going to heal. Oh, hang on a minute. No, I'm in a combat situation. As the flames die down and the smoke fades, you see the blackened hand lying at the base of the plinth. To your horror, so we weren't able to go any further on that tunnel because that energy shield. And amazement, it begins to move, flexing its charred fingers jerkily, open mouths. You stare in disbelief as it springs into the air and comes to hover above your head. Its charred fingers stretch open and flex as it plummets towards your skull. Pick a random number table. If you have the Magnapplied discipline of Hunt Mastery, add 3 to the number you have picked. Right, okay. This is a die roll situation. I do not have Hunt Mastery. I've got tracking, but that's not the same. So we do not want to roll a 1. I think if we roll a 1, we're dead because there are 3 turn to page whatevers, and one of them is if you roll a 1. 4. Okay. If you roll 2 or 6, turn to 198. Right. Suddenly you realize the horrific purpose of the hand. It is a predator, an evil sentient being that can only survive by consuming one form of nourishment, a live human brain. Diving and rolling, you avoid its initial attack as it scratches at your scalp. You lose 2 more endurance points. This is bad.
Mm.
And you cannot help but fear that your life will soon come to an end. Right. The creature is immune to Mind Blast, but not Psi Surge. If you win the combat, turn to 22. Now, I have something else that I can use here. I have this weird bottle of Korash, I think it is, or is it? Yeah.
Oh, the poison.
No, not the poison. This basically what it does is it adds 2 combat points to the first 4 rounds, 1 thereafter, for no cost. So it kind of like makes me strong and tough, I guess. So I'm going to drink that quickly, because it does say that usually it will tell you if you can't drink something, it will tell you. So I've got to fight this thing, and it's got endurance of 30. So I've got to kill it quickly. Now, I don't have my super cool sword. Its combat skill is 18, which is the same as mine. But I do still have +2 for my shield, because it said you only lost your weapons. So it didn't say.
Yeah.
Or did I lose my shield?
No, you haven't lost the shield. No.
Oh, okay. So I've got, +2 for the shield. So my combat is 20. With this potion thing for the first 4 rounds, I'm on a +4. So not as high as before. Let's go. And it's got endurance of 30. So if you can keep tabs, Mel. First round, here we go. 3. That's it has lost 7 points of damage. I've also been injured. Not good. Okay, we need a high roll now.
Mm-hmm.
4. It's lost 8 points of damage. I've also been injured again. Okay, so want a high roll now. Want a high roll. Oh, 1. Christ. That's not good. I can't afford to get that again. That's it's lost 5 points of damage, Mel. Now, I'm now, because I'm badly injured, I'm going to use my Psi Surge, which is going to give me +4, which will give me a total of +8. That's going to put me on a different table. Because this is bad. I'm looking. What's the English term for? It's all gone pear-shaped. It's all gone tits up, I think might be what you're thinking of. Right. Okay. We want a high die roll here. We want a high die roll. Come on. 10. It's dead. I think it's dead. Yeah, it's dead.
Yeah.
I lose an endurance point for using that, but it was worth doing. Okay, now I am really badly injured, so I've got to avoid combat at every possible juncture from here on out. So we turn to section 22. The Rakos lies motionless on the ground before you. Despite the many blows you've dealt the creature, it bears no sign of having ever been involved in combat. If you choose to turn your back on the hand and enter the passage ahead, turn to 77. If you decide to take a closer look at the hand, turn to 215. Neither of those sound good. Turn your back on the hand. Potentially it attacks you. Have a closer look at it. Potentially it attacks you.
It attacks you. Yeah.
Now, I'm not in combat at this point, so I'm going to heal 1. I'm on 7 at the minute. Endurance from 28. Yeah.
I'm still kind of going with look at it, though.
Yeah. I agree. Let's look at it. As you scrutinize the horrible hand, suddenly it pounces at your face. You scream with terror. Well done. Instinctively lashing out to deflect its unexpected attack. You strike it hard and send it spinning towards the green pillars and the passageways beyond. As it passes between them, it explodes. It is spun straight into the invisible energy barrier. Oh, you know that thing that I bumped into?
Yes, yeah.
The hand disintegrates into 1,000 tiny growing fragments. You feel elated that at last victory is yours. Jesus Christ, that thing was well mean. 3, 3, 4. Okay, so turn to 3, 3, 4, and I'm going to heal again. Which puts me... hang on. Yeah, 3, 3, 4. Good, booms the voice of Zelda as you enter the passage. The cowards of Elizan have at last sent a warrior worthy of my maze. Okay, well, I'm back up to 8 now. The words conjure up a picture of Lord Zarda seated on his golden throne with the object of your quest, the Law Stone of Herdos, suspended above it. The image strengthens your resolve to survive this accursed maze and escape. If you can then find your way back to Zarda's throne hall, the success of the quest will be within your grasp. You walk along the passage, your mind filled with possible problems and perils you may have yet to overcome. One such problem looms into view as the passage takes a sharp turn. Oh dear. Okay. Oh, I'll tell you what. So before I turn to the next section, I have got several healing things on me, and I'm going to use them right bloody now. So one of the things I've got on my special items, in my herb pouch, is Tenora water, which heals 6 points. So I'm going to have that, and I've also got lamp spurs, which heal 4 points. So I'm going to drink the water first. So that's going to heal me up to 14. I'm going to take a lamp spur, which is going to heal me up to 18. Now, if I'm allowed to have another one, I'll take it, but I'm not sure if you can have more than one in one go. So let me just check the rules on that quickly. Thank God I remembered I had those items. Because you can forget to use them. Lamp spur reduces 4 endurance points to your total when swallowed after combat. If you discover any other potions during the adventure, you'll be informed of their effect. All potions are backpack items. They cannot be drunk during combat. Next we have to do. Okay, yeah. So there doesn't say anything that you can't have. You can't eat one and then another one. So I'm going to have 2 of those. So that's going to bring my endurance up to 22. So I'm now only 6 points away from what it was at normally. And I've still got 2 potions of lamp spur left because I had 4. So if I need to, I'll have another one. Right, okay. You enter a chamber where there's a tall bronze statue standing on a marble plinth. You recognize it. It's Zakan, the ruler of the desert empire of Vasagonia. Here we go. Got a picture.
Uh-huh.
All right. The statue is cast in a very distressed pose. Yeah, he does look like maybe like someone's playing with his rear or something, and he's not given permission. Don't know what's going on there. Does look a bit distressed. Beyond the statue is an oval-shaped door. You check the door, but discover it's firmly locked. The mist grows brighter once more. The skull appears. Its voice is as comforting as a raven's caw. Yeah, okay. There's a poem. Do you Would you care to read it out?
Oh, I can't actually read that.
Can't
Listen to the Zarkhan. Ponder what you hear. Give the correct answer. For 4, he sheds a tear.
For fear, he sheds a tear.
Oh, for fear, he sheds a tear.
That correct answer might be the 1, 2, 3 that we found at the beginning of the.
Yeah.
Let's see what the rest says. The skull disappears. A harsh voice echoes deep from within its hollow metal body. Oh, the statue begins to move. Oh, okay, here we go. My daughter has many sisters as she has brothers. But each of her brothers has twice as many sisters as brothers. So answer me this, wise warrior. How many sons and daughters do I have? Jesus Christ, it's too late for me to figure. Let's write that out. My daughter has many sisters. As many sisters as she has brothers. But each of her brothers has twice as many sisters as brothers. Consider your answer carefully. Write down the number of sons the Zarkhan has, then immediately next to it the number of daughters. Now turn to the entry that bears the same 2-digit number as your answer, so it's not the 1, 2, 3.
No.
Okay, hang on. My daughter has many sisters. As many sisters as she has brothers. Here's where the answer lies. But each of her brothers has twice as many sisters as brothers. Well, I would have thought it was
Is it one son and 2 daughters?
That's what I was thinking. 12. I think not, judging from what that says.
Well, it does say many sisters, doesn't it?
Yeah. Riddle me this. Riddle me this, Batman. Okay, chat, we need your help with this. So I'm going to write the riddle out and you're going to have to help us. My daughter has many sisters. As many. I used to love the Riddler episodes of the original Batman. Frank Gorshin. And he had that wicked kind of evil laugh that he did.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. As many sisters as she has brothers. But each brother, this is where the answer lies. But each brother has twice as many sisters. Has twice as many sisters as brothers. Yeah, I mean, this is a tough one. My daughter has many sisters, as many sisters as she has brothers, but each brother has twice as many sisters as brothers. So okay, but what's the total? Because it says so the brothers and sisters will be the same number via the first sentence. I think you meant first sentence, not fist sentence. That's a whole different movie.
So the brothers will be the same number.
Right, okay. So you double the sisters. So what's the number then? It's a 2-digit number. What's the number? Give us a number, okay? Yes, the first. No, we want a 2-digit number. He's got one daughter. She's got many sisters. As many sisters as she has brothers, but each brother has twice as many sisters as brothers. So there are 2 daughters and 1 brother. 21. No, I don't think that's right. That'd be 21. No. So we need a number, guys. We need a number. So my daughter is 1, has many sisters, as many sisters as she has brothers. The next sentence should tell us how many brothers there are, but each brother has twice as many sisters as brother. It says, but each brother. So there must be more than 1 brother.
Yeah.
My daughter has many sisters as she has brothers, but each brother has twice as many sisters as brothers. So could it be 28? 2 and 8? No. No, it's not 28. It's got to be, maybe it's higher then. It's a mother speaking, so it can be any number. That's yeah, so clueless. I know the answer, 42. I have a feeling that the answer to the life, universe, and everything is not. Yeah, it's not 42. The mother never names how many kids she has. Okay, earlier you were pretending to know the answer. Now you clearly don't. Don't pretend to know the answer and then go retract and say, well, I don't know what I'm talking about. My daughter has many sisters. As many
34. 34. Try 34.
You got it, Mel. In reply to your correct answer, the oval door enters and clicks open. You step through to the Zakhan's riddle. The oval door emits a click and slowly swings open. Talk us through that. How did you get that? How did you come to that number? That's the correct number.
So, I can't remember how I got to it now. 34. So the one sister, if she has three brothers, she'd have 3 sisters. But and the one brother would have 2 brothers, so 4 sisters.
Right.
So
3 brothers, 4 sisters.
Yeah.
Right, correct. Bloody hell, that was a mission, wasn't it?
It was.
Right. Well done, Mel. Well done. So, you step through and descend a steep ramp to a long corridor whose walls are covered with what appear to be gigantic cocoons. Don't like the sound of those.
No.
By the way, I now get another endurance point back, so I'm up to 23. The oval door clicks shut, but the clicking continues. It's like an echo, and it's only growing steadily louder. In the gloomy corridor ahead, you can see something is moving. Oh my God. A huge worm-like creature with great black eyes and horny mandibles. Horny mandibles? I think it means like horn-like mandibles as opposed to horny mandibles. It's slithering towards you. A vile purple froth bubbles from its mouth when it picks up your scent. If you have the magnified discipline of invisibility and wish to use it. So there's 3 things here. It's asking me if I've got animal control and reach the rank of primate, but I don't think I'm at primate level.
You were earlier. Have you lost it?
Was I can't remember.
Yeah.
You know what my memory is like, Mel.
Yeah, you were primate earlier.
Okay, but I don't have animal control, and I need both, so that's no good. So let's use invisibility. Yeah. All right. There's something wrong on that, because in theory you could have neither of those things. So, and it doesn't give you an option for that. Invisibility. Okay. You press yourself between 2 of the silky cocoons hanging from the wall. Use a magnified skill to mask your heat and scent of your body. The hideous worm-like creature halts, it clicking mandibles snapping in the air in frustration. You turn your head away. Look straight into one of the cocoons. A chill runs down your spine. The decaying remains of a female warrior's face stare back at you from inside the web strand of the cocoon. The sudden shock makes you draw breath sharply. Immediately, the worm-like thing slithers forward. Do you want to attack the creature? If not, you can pray that it has not detected your hiding place. Right, so I can either choose to attack it, or I can try and stay still and remain undetected, which I have to do on a die roll. Sherlock Mel, I presume, says RK. RK, you are definitely Dr. Watson, RK, for sure. Well, I mean, if we attack it, I don't know. I have a feeling we might have to attack it anyway.
Yeah.
Let's attack it. Relentlessly, the worm moves forward and you're forced to back up the ramp toward the oval door, but there's no escape. You have no option but to fight the repulsive creature. Okay, now, it's only got combat skill of 17, and the monster is especially susceptible to psychic attack. If you use Mind Blast, double all the endurance points lost by the enemy. Well, I think that's a no-brainer then. So I'm going to lose an endurance point. I'm going to use Mind Blast. It's got combat skill of 17. I've got with my shield, I've got 19, but with Mind Blast, 23. So that's a difference of 7, isn't it? 6?
Yeah.
6. Difference of 6. 20. Okay, here we go. So I double damage on it. 5. So with a difference of 6 on 5, I lose 2 points. It loses 10, which is double to 20. It's got endurance of 17. It's dead.
Yeah.
Nice. My endurance is down to 20. I'm going to. Seems like there's death around every corner in this place. I'm gonna use another lamp spurt, and I'm gonna put my. Still got 1 left. I'm gonna put my endurance back up to 24 now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If you win, turn to 209. I have one. By the way, when I was Fantasy Zoopla shopping today, I did see a very nice house in a 4-bedroom house in Walthamstow Village. A mere 1.8 million squiderinos. So Yeah, just a shy of 1.2 million. So not 1.8 as in 1.8 to 2 million. I mean, as in that is what I mean. 1,800,000. I think.
Thousand.
No,
Well,
hang on.
there's
It wasn't that much. It was 1,200,000.
all right, because there's a house across the road from me that's 4-bedroomed house that's 1,150,000.
Right. I'm not getting that one, Mel. I know I'd have lots of dog-like walking responsibilities. Okay. Okay, said stay hidden. It was the wrong choice, Dr. Watson. We killed it. Right. Your killing blow makes it twist back on itself. It disappears. Creature thrashes wildly for several minutes. Now, once the mist clears, you can see there's a deserted walkway and a metal observation platform. You can climb over the body of the dead Odor and pull yourself up to the platform. If you decide to climb over the worm-like carcass and continue along the corridor, either way, we're climbing over this body of this thing.
Yeah.
So is that up to the platform or along the corridor? I think up to the platform, because that's probably where they fed it, and we probably want to go up, don't we?
Yeah, we might get a view of something from up there as well.
Might also get out the maze. All right. The only way is up, baby. As you pull yourself up to the cold iron platform, you see the maze spread out below you. You're right. Like the surface of a massive brain, each chamber resembles a cell populated with perils created by the devilish imagination of the Lord Zahada. A crisscross of interconnecting walkways is suspended above the maze by gigantic chains. It's pretty cool. You hurry along an iron path towards a staircase that descends to an arch beyond the boundary wall of the maze. As you run through it, you hear an alarm bell echoing in the vastness above. Your escape has not gone unnoticed. What was that movie where, when the alarm went off, a guy came running out in a corridor with a halo and he'd go, bah, 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 bah. Do you remember that? I think it might have been Kentucky Fried Movie, Fistful of Yen, which was like the Bruce Lee parody. Anyway. Okay. A vaulted corridor lies beyond the arch, which leads to a junction with two exits. If you have the magnified discipline of pathmanship, yes, I do. Turn to 330. So I think we can. Your pathmanship reveals to you that the passage to your left leads to a complex of prison cells. The passage to your right leads to a guard room and torture chamber. Well, maybe we should go to the prison cells and try and free other prisoners.
Yeah.
Yeah. Much as I'd, like to check out the torture chamber. 20. Did you ever work at the London Dungeon?
No, I did Madame Two Swords.
Ah. Yeah, because I used to go up there in the 80s before they used to get all the actors in. And that's totally changed it now. But they had a really good display of like hell back then, which has gone now. Right. Here we go. The passage leads to an enormous compound of cells. I probably shouldn't have stuffed more scissors in my mouth before I read this section. They are in the main a pitiful herd of gangling creatures with sorrowful eyes, backs bent, crooked by years of hard labour. These prisoners press their sad faces against the tiny grates of the cells. Okay. They hiss as you pass. At the end of the block, there's a small cell that resembles a cage, denying its prisoner even the small degree of privacy provided to the others. You stare through and see a man sleeping on straw. His plaited blonde hair and red gold tunic are stained with blood and grime. A key to his cell hangs by a peg on a nearby wall. This might be that guy's brother.
Yeah.
It says release him or hurry on. Release him.
Release him.
Release him. 113. The sound of the creaking door stirs the man from his sleep. He rolls over. His eyes are opaque, like balls of frosted glass. For a minute, I thought it said his balls are frosted glass. His face and hands are pitted and scarred by disease. If you possess the Kai discipline of curing, I do. Finally, I get to use it. Go to 192. You recognise the symptoms of Takeda or gal rot, as it's commonly called in Summerland. As you approach the trembling man, you reassure him you mean him no harm. Placing your hand over his eyes, you transfuse the healing power, yada, 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 reversing the terrible effects of the disease. When you remove your hands, his eyes are no longer opaque. They gleam with a cat-like intensity. I can see, he says with astonishment. How can I ever repay you for this miracle? Well, as you're on your knees while you're there. Before you can answer, the sound of running feet echoes along the corridor. Follow me, he says, springing to his feet. As hard as guards find you here, they'll kill us both. Okay. Well, I think that was a good decision, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Looks like we're in a combat situation. You follow him to the end of the corridor when a guard leaps out. Bearing in mind, all I've still got is a shitty sword. Now, my endurance actually has healed by 2 because there were 2 sections there. Yeah, when the angry shouts of Zahada's jailers ringing in your ears, a staircase looms ahead to a lower level, but it's guarded by a grim-faced beastman armed with an axe. Combat skill of 17. Halve any endurance losses you sustain during this combat, as half the creature's attacks are directed at your newfound partner. Okay, fine. Right, so I've got a combat skill of 19. No, hang on. 18 plus 2, 20. So I'm on +3 with this guy. Not particularly good, but I only take half the damage. All right, so here we go. 4. Oh, he's got endurance of 22 mil.
22. Okay.
22. So he loses in the first round of combat. He loses 8 and I lose 2. So I am now on 24.
14.
Second round of combat. 3. Not so good. He loses 7 and I lose 3. So I'm down to 21.
He's on 7.
Okay. See if we can kill him now. That'd be good. Oh, hang on. I needed to halve my damage. 3.
Yes.
So he has lost. He's lost 7, so he's dead. I lost another 3. Now the total I lost was 8 in that. So actually, what I actually lost was 4.
4.
So I would be on 22 because I was on 26 when we started the combat. Okay, so turns to 20. This is where the old guy's gonna. Your companion rolls the body over and unsheaths a short sword and a dagger from his belt. You may take the axe that was used in the combat and the dagger if you wish. Well, I might as well take the axe. Why not?
Yep.
I'll take the axe. Be nice to find all my my weapons wherever they may be. So I've got a sword and an axe at the moment. The bottom of the stairs, there's a deserted hallway. At the end of this long hall, there are 2 great doors of gleaming bronze, sumptuous tapestries. Tapestries! There are tapestries here, are there not? And statues of gold line the walls on either side of the hallway, and an ornate fountain of silvered marble fills the air with a melodious bubbling sound. Melodious. Sounds like you on the loo. You've covered less than 20 feet when an armored guard steps into view from behind the fountain. They raise a loaded crossbow. You shout a warning to your newfound partner, but unfortunately he's wearing a red Star Trek vest and it's too late. The bolt hisses through the air, hits him with such force he's knocked clean off his feet and sent crashing to the ground. The guard fumbles in a leather belt pouch for another quarrel. Do you choose to aid your wounded companion or attack the guard before he can reload? Attack the guard.
Yeah.
definitely, because you can get killed by single crossbow bolts in this game. The speed of your attack catches him completely off guard. They attempt to parry your first blow with their empty crossbow, but you knock it from their trembling fingers, leaving them without a weapon in their hand. Okay, they've got combat skill of 14. I'm on 20, so I've got +6. Their endurance is 22. Here we go. First one. 5. They have lost. They've lost 9. So 9 off 22. I've lost 2. So I am now on 20, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, they're on 13.
Yeah. Okay. Second round. Eight. That sounds good. They have lost 14, so they are dead. I've lost nothing. Okay, good. If you win the combat, turn to 105. Okay. You race over to your companion's side and discover that he is still conscious, although he's lost a lot of blood. Using your healing skill, you repair his wound as best you can, but it's deep and severe, and you can only prolong his life for a few minutes. You tell him of your quest and help the help the elder Makai gave you to enter Zahadum. As you recount your air voyage to Herdos aboard Lord Pado's skyship, you notice his eyes flicker. My name is Kassan, he says painfully. Lord Pado is my brother. Yeah, told you.
Yeah.
You notice the resemblance in his cat-like eyes. I'm finished, Kai Master, but I will help you in your quest as best I can. Listen carefully. That's not what happens. So Clueless says I've got to bounce. Dude, thanks for dropping by, man. This stream's turned out to be longer than I thought it was going to be, but I think we're nearly at the end. Listen carefully. Over there, behind the tapestry, is a secret passage. It leads to Zarda's throne. Above the throne is the Lord Stone of Herdos, but beware. Zardos has coupled its power to a doomstone from the realm of Naros. He draws his power from that accursed gem. If you are to succeed, you must first destroy the doomstone, or you will surely perish. Sadly, I cannot help you escape from Zardu. But sorry, he says a bit more. For I myself was captured long before I reached the surface, but if you can get to the beach, make your way to the old stone jetty. I hid my boat beneath the steps there. Oh, that would have been useful to know that when we were trying to get up.
Oh, yeah.
If you find my spear on the way, take it with you. With my blessing, his grip tightens around your hand. When you return to Elysian, tell my brother that my death was not in vain. May God protect you, lone. Okay. Those his eyes for the last time. 282. See what's happening. So we've got to destroy that other stone. So remember, we've got to destroy that other stone. You hear footsteps on the stairs. More of the enemy are approaching. If they are too armed with crossbows, your chances of survival are very slim. Before you stand, there's 2 great bronze doors flanked on either side by tapestries and gold statues. Oh, remember, he said there's a secret door behind the tapestry.
Yeah.
Examine the tapestry. 74. Okay. Tapestries are similar to the others you have seen in the levels of Zahadum, except what you discover behind proves to be of greater interest. They conceal a secret door. Your basic Kai senses alert you to a tiny button. You press it, the door slides open, revealing a circular tunnel, gleaming of polished steel. Quickly you enter, and the door slides shut barely moment before the hall is filled with guards. 50 feet along this gleaming tunnel of steel, you arrive at a circular door set flush into the wall to your left. If you choose to open the circular door and enter, or go further along the tube. Did he say anything about that? I can't remember.
No, I don't think he did.
Where does the term loo come from? That is a question that's been puzzling British citizens for many moons. I have no idea. I mean, Mel is an expert of all things toilet, but
no, I don't know the answer to that one.
Yeah, all things except for that. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? Circular door or tube?
Circular door.
That's my inclination. Okay. Right. You open the door. You're in a room of steel. It's a vault. Contains lots of tombs, crumbling parchments. But guess what you discover? All your confiscated weapons. Oh, yes. And items. Right. Well, I'll have those back. Thank you very much. I'll drop the crap sword and axe. We lost oh yeah, we lost there was one other item. There was a special item that we lost, but I forgot what it was now that I took off. Okay, I'll have to go back and look at the beginning of the stream. I think it was
You had a staff which we lost in the webs.
yeah, that wasn't confiscated. That's gone for good.
Yeah.
In addition to your weapons, you discover a large jar of concentrated lampspur. Now, my endurance, we've just gone through 2 sections with no combat, so my endurance is at 22. I'm going to keep the all-powerful lampspur potion. I'm going to consume my last normal one to take my endurance to 26. So it's only 2 points away. Powerful lampspur. So that does double. Okay. There's a blue steel spear and a platinum amulet. Oh, I think I want to take both of those.
Yeah.
Write them on your special. If you wish to take the platinum amulet, mark it on your special item. It will protect you from injury due to exposure to high temperatures. If you wish to take the blue steel spear, mark it on your action chart as a magical weapon-like special item. Okay, well, I'm gonna take both of those. Spear. What's the other thing called? Excuse me. Platinum amulet protects you from the cold or high temperatures, rather. Sorry.
Yeah.
Exposure to high temperatures. Platinum amulet. I've got to dump something. I'll dump the
rope.
No. That's a backpack item. I've got a crystal star pendant, which has come up in a couple of books, so I don't want to get rid of that. Power key, crimson gem, which is giving us 2 extra endurance points. I'll get rid of Sinead's silver key. We're not going to need that again. That was for a specific lock in a previous adventure. I don't think it's going to come up again. So blue steel spear. That's like blue steel. What was that from? Remember the Ben Stiller? I'm working on my blue steel look. That movie, the one where it's him and he's going up against. He's a model, and he's going up against the
Zoolander.
Yeah, Zoolander. That was it. Yeah, they've got the name for the looks and all that stuff. Okay, blue steel special item. It adds 1 to combat or 2 when facing creatures of Agarash the Damned. Only a Vakaros trained in battle magic can unlock the weapon's full powers. If you should one day learn Old Kingdom magic, these bonuses are doubled. Okay, good to know. Okay, so +1 or +2 against Vakarash the Damned. Okay, all right. Elated by this discovery of your equipment, you leave the chamber and press along the shiny tube. Well, I'm sure glad that we didn't ignore the chamber.
Yeah.
As you walk in, the temperature steadily rises until you're completely bathed in sweat. Fortunately, I've got the platinum amulet, so that's going to protect me from heat. It's just asked me if I've got it. After what seems like an hour, but in reality is only a few minutes, the scorching heat subsides and the tunnel air becomes painfully less to breathe. You press on and soon arrive at an archway where a shiny steel tube enters a chamber gorged of solid black iron. Here, a spiral staircase ascends to an arched portal. You climb the stairs, peer cautiously through the portal, and see something that sets your pulse racing. Before you stands a gleaming block of solid gold. It is the back of Lord Zadar's throne. Above it, hovering motionless in the air, are the two perfect crystals. One glows darkly with the halo of black fire, and the other radiates the pure golden light. That sends a shiver coursing down your spine. Instinctively, you know the golden crystal is the object of your quest, the Law Stone of Herdos. Now, the options are reach up and take the Law Stone of Herdos, attack the black crystal, examine the throne, attack the black crystal. Because that's what that guy specifically told me to do, remember?
you can't get the good crystal first. So yeah.
And I also think if we examine the throne, it might give the guy a chance to appear and attack us or something.
Yeah.
So I think just take out the black crystal as soon as we can. Take out the black crystal, take out its power. 138. Okay. Big section of text. I will refrain from eating a Malteser prior to giving this. You unsheath your weapon, strike a mighty blow at the black crystal. It splits cleanly in two, releasing its dark power and showering you with hot sparks in the wake of its destruction. If you have one, your platinum amulet vanishes with terrible magic interference caused by the destruction of the Doomstone. Well, that went quick, didn't it?
Yeah.
Didn't get to keep that very long. Okay, well, that's gone. Black amulet or whatever. The riven fragments hurtle into the fiery abyss that surrounds Zadar's throne. Curse you, Kai scum! Screams Lord Zadar, leaping out from behind the golden throne. He's brandishing a platinum rod. Defiantly, he points the rod at your head and spits an evocation, but the power he calls upon no longer heeds his cry. So you see, if we looked at the throne, he would have been there. From the depths of the pit, a terrible roar begins to grow in volume and intensity. The floor shakes and a column of flame lights the entire throne as molten lava explodes high into the air. Zadaga staggers back, his face aghast with terror. Hurriedly, he kneels before his throne, his crooked fingers stroking at a pentagram engraved in gold. Above the din of destruction, another sound like the ringing of 1,000 tiny bells can be heard. In the blackness above the throne, a speckled glow suddenly appears. It descends towards Lord Zadar until he's totally engulfed by a column of shimmering blue light. His body rises as if lifted by unseen hands. If you choose to grab the Law Stone and step into the column of shimmering blue light, 118. If you decide to grab the Law Stone and rush back into the steel tube, 250. Okay, so grab the Law Stone and stand into the light, or grab the Law Stone and run away. I have a feeling it's the first one.
Yeah.
What does chat think? I have a feeling it's the first one. Let's just hang on a minute. In the blackness above the throne, it descends towards glow light. So it depends on a gulf by a column of shimmering blue light. His body rises. So we'd be pursuing him as well, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. A wave of energy surges through your body as you now hang on a minute. Before we did all this, we went through another section, so I'm on 27 on my nearly at full strength. A wave of energy surges through your body as you close your hand around the Law Stone of Herdos. Restore all endurance points. Oh hey, back to 28. Your senses tingle and a newfound strength wipes away your fatigue of your terrible ordeal, enabling you to assess the situation. You step into the blue beam and immediately you are drawn upwards, following closely on the heels of Zadar, who is struggling to stay in the center of the column of light. He is gripped with mortal fear. of you as he sees you gaining on him. He unsheaths a glowing dagger and inverts himself to face you as you approach. So we're now in a scene from The Matrix where we are fighting each other in the midair, spinning around. As soon as you're within arm's length, he launches a wild attack. Now, he's got endurance of 45. He's immune to Mind Blast, but not Psi Surge. Now, I've got the Summer Sword now, and all my shit back together. So my current combat skill with my shield and the sword is 30. So I'm on a +7. I can use the Psi Surge if I want. Yeah, okay. So he's got endurance of 45. That's quite a lot. I think I'll use the Psi Surge for 1 round. So my endurance drops to 27. That gives me a +4. That puts me on the top chart, basically. So let's see where we do. I think this is going to be the final battle because he's the end of level boss, you know.
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. First roll. That was going to be a 9. Okay. So Mel, he's got endurance of 45. Okay. So he on the first round of combat he loses 12. So keep a record of that if you would. He's lost 12.
33.
I'm on 26. Second round of combat. Now this time we're on a different chart, 2, because I'm not continuing with the Psi Surge for the moment. So we're on +7 and 8. 2. He's lost 8. I have lost 3. I'm going to do the Psi Surge again, so I'm going to take off another point. I'm down to 23. 5. Okay, that's. I'm still like not rolling high. He has lost another 14. I have lost 1.
He's on 11.
Okay, right. We'll keep it at +7 now. Won't use the Psi thing. Oh, that's going to be good. I think that might be KIA. It is. He's dead. He's dead. Turn to 200. Turn to 200. Chunks of stone and iron are blasted high into the reaches of the throne hall by the increasing power of eruptions. Boulders, some the size of horses, seem to tumble in slow motion all around as you're drawn irresistibly nearer to the roof. Then the beam fades, and you find yourself standing on a circular plinth in the center of the ruined temple near the gatehouse of the castle keep. The glare of daylight blinds you as you gradually become accustomed to it. You cast your gaze over the shimmering waters of Lake Lore to the town of Herdos, perched on the far horizon. The walls of the fortress are beginning to crack and slant. Oh, it's doing a Lord of the Rings number. It's all going to implode. What's that? Oh, is that a cat or dog snoring in Mel's room? Or is that a cat or a dog blowing a trumpet? I think it's both. Here, you'll get a... Hang on, let's go full pooch screen. There we go.
I can't get it.
It's me. It's me. Oh, look, he heard me. He heard me. Oh. Heard me and replied. Said pug. Okay. Now, remember, we've got to... remember that guy said he's got a boat.
Yes.
The ruined main gate as great bolts of lightning are drawn from the sky by the dying power of Zahadum. At the top of a ruined staircase, you stare down at the lake below. If you wish to descend the steps to the old jetty, run to the beach, or decide to dive from the cliff into the water.
No, old jetty.
Jetty, because he's got that boat hidden there.
Yeah.
And besides, we know what's waiting on the beach. Those rock monster things. You're forced to cut your way through the horde of creatures that huddles on the steps leading to the jetty. Loathsome beings are crawling out the ground itself. Everywhere you look, black slimy hands are bursting through the surface, squeezing their way free from Zahadum through the scores of fissures that are opening up in the sheer wall. Next to the base of the steps, you are dragged to the ground by a clutch of gruesome slaves. They paid dearly for their mistake, but not before you lose significant parts of your equipment. Pick a number from the random number table. I'll just do this quickly. 2. If the number is equal to or lower than the number of items you're carrying in your backpack is torn from your shoulders. It is not. If the number you picked is higher than the number of... Oh, hang on. Equal to or lower than the number of backpack items. Oh, okay. Actually, it is torn from my shoulders. So erase your backpack and all that it contains. If the number you picked is higher than your belt, number of items you're carrying in your belt pouch, and if you have. Okay, right. Okay, well, I've lost my backpack, so I've lost all my herbs. So I lost that herb pouch. Basically,
Yeah.
I've lost the fire seeds and all my little herbs. When you reach the jetty, you're covered from head to toe in fetid blood of your foes, their feces more like. The sight of you is now so frightening that all resistance melts away. Creatures hurl themselves into the lake rather than face the fearsome, straight-back slayer of the subterranean kin. Okay. Beneath the jetty steps, you discover an arch. It is sealed off at one end and has a weed-encrusted stone door at the other. Inside, you find a small wicker coracle and a paddle. Having fought off the most determined of Zahadum's horrors, you launch the coracle into the choppy water, jump aboard, and paddle frantically towards the distant glimmer of the power shield. As you make good your escape, the deafening cries of Zahadum echo in your ears. You may wish to note you have visited the Isle of Kor for future reference. Okay, I will do that. And then we're about to turn to the last section, Mel. So probably good timing as it's now 2:15.
Yeah.
You've stayed up late for me on this one. Thanks very much. Isle of Kor. Isle of Kor.
Oh, chief.
Also known as the Isle of Benny Hill. Okay. He used to come into the cinema where I worked, you know. Yeah. And it's so funny because he'd come in during the day in the afternoon when no one would recognise him. And was like a proper sort of dithering old man, the way he kind of shuffled when he walked as well. Okay, here we go. As you make good your escape, the deafening cries of Zahadum echo in your ears. If you possess a power key, turn immediately to 350. If you do not possess this special item, you're unable to leave the boiling waters and are soon swept overboard in the great waves and destruction that Zahadum causes. Well, I do have the power key, so fortunately that's not what happens to me. Turn to 350, which is the end. Here we go. As soon as you pass through the power shield, you're greeted like a hero by a huge flotilla of fishing vessels and trading barges. An hour ago, upon seeing the eruption of Kazan Odd. See, that doesn't sound as good as Zahadum, does it?
No.
An hour ago, upon seeing the eruption of Zahadum, every boat in Herdos set sail for the shield, for the eruption signaled the end of the bane that has haunted Desi for hundreds of years. Now they're cheering the summer-lending warrior who has delivered them from the evil shadow that has darned Desi for so long. Eager hands pull you aboard. Lord Arden's cavalier, and a fanfare salute is sounded by the trumpeters of Vacaris's guard. Vacaris will grant you the rare exception of keeping any blue steel weapon you may have discovered, a rare honour granted only to you due to your victory. We are forever in your debt, Lone Wolf, says Lord Arden, as he shakes your hand warmly in gratitude and friendship. You have achieved what we feared to be impossible, and you've lived to tell the tale. Your bravery is an inspiration to us all. His words are reinforced by the delirious cheers of his people.
Hey, way!
I feel you could have gone more delirious with that. He asks for your own quest, and you remove the law stone of Herdos from the pocket of your tattered and scorched tunic, his eyes wide with amazement. He bows his head and says a solemn and respectful voice, Lone Wolf, you stand upon the threshold of greatness. I know. Your purpose and your destiny are known only to the elder Magi, for we have awaited your coming for hundreds of years. Our survival and the survival of all we cherish rests upon the success of the Magna Kai quest. The time has come, honored Kai Master, for you to learn our wisdom, for we are the same blood, you and I. Our fate is bound together. No thanks, I'm off home, he replies. We will prepare you for the next stage of your noble quest. The Lawstone you must find exists in the land that was once our home, in the temple that was once our most sacred place of worship, in the chamber where our master, the god Kai, first appeared to us. The quest has succeeded in the strength and wisdom. Oh, hang on, no, he's not saying that anymore. I can drop the voice. Your quest has succeeded, and the strength and wisdom of the Lawstone of Herdos is now part of your body and spirit. Yet there is much for you to learn from the elder Magi as they prepare you for the most challenging of Magna Kai quests that you have yet to attempt. It is a quest that will take you deep into the hostile swamps of the Danag, where the evil creatures of Agarash the Dam still thrive and dominate. If you have the courage of a true Kai Master, the secrets of the elder Magi and the perils of the Danag await you in the Jungle of Horrors. Dun dun dun. So wow, that was all done single outing, as it were. So so there's the actual nice cover. And actually, I've just realised now what the front cover is depicting of the new artwork. So it's the scene where you're pulled up in front of all those guys, and he's hovering in his chair, because you can see under all the the hooded figures. And there he is, and then that's you tied up in the chains before you go into the maze. You see, the bad guy made the mistake of the Bond villain. He showed me round the secret base instead of just killing me and doing it. He did the speech and then you know, gave me a chance to escape. Yeah, completed it. Guys, still, look, we still got a couple of the regulars who stuck it out the whole way through. We've got Keith E in here. You've got to love page 350. Yeah, they're always there. Completed it well. So thanks very much for that. So Jungle of Horrors is next. And by the way, book 10 is on its way to me. That's out now. Once I get to book 11, then I'll be playing the books I no longer have the first editions for, and books that I've never played before. But I can't remember anything. But the map for Jungle of Horrors is this. And,
wow.
Yeah, that's the swamp with, I'm guessing, kind of evil. Well, there's monsters, in fact, drawn on. So, and then the original one, a little bit. That's the cover of the original. So I have a feeling that's where we're going to be heading for, this kind of temple.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's the map of the swamp in the original. So, and that area is just to the left of where we were today. So, I'll just close that and we go on to the dice thing. You're a dog, man. So funny. So so Desi is here. This is where we've just completed our mission. Now I'm trying to remember where this place is. I think it's over here somewhere. There it is. So it's actually quite a way away. Past the Stormlands, which is the area I've been through. Totally enclosed by mountains on one side, forests on the other. The Darnag unexplored. Yeah, I bet it is. So we're probably going to start our mission either in Kanar or Sayada or whatever. Now, I think the schedule, the time that I'm due to play the next Lone Wolf, let me take that down for a second. Is let me have a look. So we've got quite a few interesting streams coming up, because I've got a Judge Dredd comparison between Dredd and Judge Dredd movies. But we've got a prop from Carl Urban's Judge Dredd that we're going to give away to one of the people in chat during that stream. So spread the word. If you are a Judge Dredd fan, you're going to like that one. So Judge Dredd is on the 22nd of August. That's next Tuesday. On Saturday, I'm doing a watch party of A Bridge Too Far. That's going to be starting at 9 p.m. That's 3 hours long, that one. And then we've got on the 23rd of August, which is next Wednesday, we're doing top 5 horror films from 1970 until 1990. So I've got a few different people coming on, and they've got to pick a list of 5 movies. So if you fancy that, Mel, you want to take part in that one, let me know.
I have to admit, I'm not a huge horror film fan.
Yeah, not everybody is. I mean, one of the reasons I don't watch many of them now, because I find them all just a bit shit. But I liked a lot of the early stuff. I like the early John Carpenter stuff, like Halloween, Fog. I really a big fan of the original Fog. I really liked the story in that, with the leper colony, and the whole backstory about them being robbed and murdered and coming back for revenge was really, really cool. So we're doing that, and then we're doing on August 29th, so that's the following week, we're doing a special episode about the films of Michael Mann. So that's like Last of the Mohicans, Heat, The Insider, all of that stuff. So that should be. So there we go. And then we'll be having our growling dog competition. So I'm sure you'll be there. All right, Mel. Well, listen, I'll let you go. Those of you that have been watching, thanks so much. Yeah, definitely check out the Judge Dredd stream. Do come to the Bridge Too Far watch party. It's less of a watch party and more me stripping down every aspect of the film, where it was shot, how it was shot, all of that kind of stuff, which is going to be a lot of fun to do, because it's my favorite film of all time, near enough. So Mel, thanks again for being on. Always a pleasure to have you. Look, RK, thank you, Mel. See, now you're even getting your own fan base. Make that sound bigger. Just put the word base under it. Make it sound. Listen, all right. Well, I'm gonna shoot straight off on this one. Because I think we both need to retire. So, for those people that have been watching and stuck out the stream with us and saw the whole thing, thanks ever so much for doing that. I think the next Lone Wolf is, I think it might be this Sunday. I forgot to check. Let me just check, actually. The next Lone Wolf, Jungle of Horrors, is the minute it's scheduled for 9:30 this Sunday. So going to be picking it up again this Sunday. I don't think I'll do the whole book in one go, but you never know. In the meantime, I shall see you all again soon. Join us on A Bridge Too Far watch party on Saturday, and see you